Very, very small dip just to get the taste. Not much the.
There you go. Just to get the flavor. It satisfies. Copenhagen.
For some reason it does.
Hi, everybody!
Could you say hello? Could you say hello?
Hank's Look Around Cafe.
That's amazing.
Welcome. The show's gonna be funny.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Grant Napier.
The show is crazy, but it's so crazy you kind of keep watching.
There's CPAC.
This is Craig back on a podcast at YuSkool after a long, long time.
Norwegies.
This podcast hopefully is going to get us where we want to get.
And this is one of my favorites right here.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone. Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Before you go, I'd like to have you win this.
Some they-them group got together in Sacramento, and they had like a conference on how they
pronouns, what they want to be called, and how they want to be called.
Yeah, it's like how they feel like people are being mean to them or whatever. Get their panties all in a bunch. So
the first people to ever be bullied.
So it was from one of those things. But anyways, all right. Well, let's get this episode started. To all who shall see these present, greetings. Today is Sunday, February 5th, 2023. Only 323 more days until Christmas. And 20 days till Emma Blossom.
Yes.
So allow me to introduce myself. It's me, it's Alan T behind the MIC at my JOB, with the station that rules the pools and reaches the beaches. To my left is my cousin Kyle Frosty Van Houten. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Great to be back.
Oh, I got that one a little low. There we go.
There it is.
You're a crowd favorite right there.
Well, we're on that camera there too. I gave it away.
We're at both cameras. That camera one, camera two. Camera one, camera two. Remember Wayne's World?
Oh yeah, definitely. Moving on up around the studio. 2 cameras, brand new mics,
new cameras. Great sponsors.
2023 is the year.
Yes, we got great sponsors. We're loving it. So, and I got a great understanding wife that will let me purchase stuff.
Big key to all of it.
Pretty cool.
A big component, yes.
Yes. Here, let's have you pull that puppy closer to you, actually.
Yep.
There you go.
All right.
Now you're sounded
breathing
crispy.
all heavy on the mic.
Crispy. I think there's a little noise reduction thing where I hope that my breathing, because I'm a mouth breather.
Yes.
So I hope that my mouth breathing kind of goes away. But anyways, it's been a while since you've been on the podcast.
It has. I have to remind myself to, like I said before on previous podcasts, I'm kind of an interrupter and also, like you said, a mouth breather. So probably the 2 worst things you could have on a podcast are my...
Well, you can't help the mouth breathing. That's just
Thompson 101.
A genetic thing, right? I think.
Yes.
That's how mine is, at least.
Beautiful faces and mouth breathing.
Mouth breathing's my specialty. But I can't help it. And my big bonedness.
Husky,
yes.
Today's day and age, it's husky.
So when was the last time you were on an episode?
Oh, man. I may be doing 1 a year, so it would have probably been like this time last year when we did the New Year's New Me podcast. Yeah. Giving out all our New Year's resolutions and talking over Christmas and probably Almond Blossom as well. So, yeah, we're probably sitting on a calendar year here.
Did you get all crazy on New Year's, or did you have another grown-up New Year's where you behaved?
New Year's wasn't too wild. I went to dinner with my buddy H and his wife. We went out to dinner. It held a storm that night, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, it was dumping. I just remember we were in Riverbank. Where did we stop? I went by the theater, came back.
Cool Hand Luke's?
I was probably home by 10 o'clock on New Year's.
Oh, solid.
Yeah. But no kids, so that was...
Where'd you guys go to eat?
Yeah, right there at Luke's.
Oh,
yeah.
you did?
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
The best.
To be honest, there wasn't a lot of places open. It sounds crazy, but like every place we called on that New Year's, they were like, "Oh no, we're closing at 5.
Oh,
Closing at 5, shutting it down." Was it on like a Monday night, Sunday night?
I think it was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Because Christmas was a Sunday. I think it's always 1 week apart. Anyways, I think it was a Sunday.
And it pissed rain, dude. That's all I remember. It was
a lot of rain that night. That whole month was a lot of rain.
It actually just got done dumping right here. It was kind of
now it looks like the sun's coming back out.
Bob Ross.
You got here, the sun, it was like a picture perfect horizon.
Yeah.
Right? And then about 10 minutes into it, it just started dumping.
The dark shadows from Manteca rolled our way.
And then now it's back to, looks like the sun's going to come out and we'll probably have a rainbow.
This is kind of my favorite time of year because it's like, I feel like the air is just fresh, right?
Yeah.
And everything's just getting washed down, but like everything's kind of green.
Yep.
It's like that start of spring where you're still rocking the hoodie sweatshirt, but you put on some shorts and some flip-flops and you'll survive.
And it's the way it should be. We got a lot of rain this year, which I like, and I want more rain, but I'm happy with the 12 inches we've gotten so far this season, which is a lot.
A lot. Yeah, you look at, I bet you right now, this afternoon, the Sierra Nevadas are probably getting straight dumped on.
I bet you that's snowing pretty good up there.
But this is why we pay out the wazoo to live in California, right?
I guess so.
It's like 50 degrees, 55 degrees, sun is shining. It's February. I think like Minnesota right now is like negative 30.
Although I did just get back from Arizona, and I thought Arizona this time of the year was going to be warm. For some reason, I thought like spring training's right around the corner, right? A couple weeks till that starts.
Yeah.
And it's Arizona. And I just thought it was desert, going to be warm.
But you're going to Mexico, You thought you were going.
I packed I did pack my swim trunks. I packed like 2 sweatshirts, a pair of jeans, 2 jeans maybe. Stayed for a whole entire week. And then I packed like going to town shorts. Well, I pretty much wore my shorts the whole time because, I do get hot and then I get extremely cold, but I get hot because I'm fat. So I'd rather be a little chilly than be extremely hot.
It's like that awkward time of year though, like we're saying, where like in the morning it's so cold. Like I'm going to the school in the morning, I'm throwing on the jacket, the hoodie, whatever, but you get to the school and they got those heaters just blazing. Like, what are they cooking chickens in there? It's like, I go in there, I'm just sweating. Kids are like, "Why do you have a fan on?" Like, I'm just like, guys,
because I'm
one
hot.
Day, yeah, you're gonna know one day, dude.
I'm hot.
You leave the house, it's freezing. Next thing you know, you're just sweating it out, dude.
My daughter just came home from a whole weekend at Hume Lake.
Oh, yeah, that was science camp, right?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't seen her since Friday morning.
That was a nice week to go.
Yeah, they went to Hume Lake, which is southeast of Fresno.
Southeast of Fresno.
And then out towards the Sierras. Anyways.
Still rolling in some water. Hume Lake, there we go.
Must have been a little snowy there.
Oh, it was snowing.
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
They had to bring snow clothes.
Oh, we're going up into the mountains and, like a pine crest kind of.
Yeah, like their version of pine crest.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be their version of pine crest.
I was thinking of some lake in Fresno.
I don't want to go to that lake. That's why I like the city's sewage ponds.
Bakersfield Reservoir.
That's like Woodward Reservoir.
It's probably beautiful out there today, huh? You can see the mountains, see
nice
the
clear
snow
view.
caps.
Nice clear view. Yeah, who knows? But anyways, yeah, we were in Arizona.
Yeah, great segue. Let's get to this. Okay, so I've been having some questions about this. So it was to go to was it initially for Barrett Jackson? Or there was other.
No, so we originally the plans were made because our friend's husband, our friend, the husband of the couple, he was turning 43 or something like that, 44. And so he had always wanted to go to Barrett Jackson.
Yep, bucket list.
And so they had asked us on a whim, "Hey, you guys interested?" I don't know if they knew or had an idea we would say yes, but we did. Yeah. Like, yeah, let's do it. Sounds good. So we went, and it was on his bucket list. I had not really never knew what it was.
It's like an all-week event, right? People
Right.
get there like on a Monday, register their cars, start putting them under tents to check out.
When you get there, it's already dialed in. It's too late to enter a car.
Okay.
So when you get there, us civilians, when we get there, it's already ready to rock. All the cars are in their spots. They're under tents. They got for sale signs or what year it is and blah, blah, blah. All the like details about it. So anyways, you get there like on a Sunday, I think we went. And then Monday is selling day. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they sell cars.
So it's like they put them in different lots and like bring it up, like say, hey, this lot's coming across Tuesday at 3:00, and then that's the car you want. Come back on Tuesday. Because if you go every day, then you have to pay every day to get in there. And
yes, so first couple days are $20, and then towards the end of the week, it gets up to like $80 a person to get in.
That's still not bad because you're probably all day.
It's an all day thing, but you see some of the coolest cars. But just to get a bidder number, like I couldn't even afford to get a bidder number because you're talking like, I think they want to make sure that you got like a minimum of like 30 grand chilling in the account.
That's what people don't understand is like when you see that thing go like sold, and it says $100,000. Well, there's like still taxes on top of that, right? And they got to pay like a auction fee on top of that.
Yep.
So that $100,000 car just sold for like $120,000.
Yeah. So for Barrett Jackson, they're gonna get 18% of that.
Damn.
8 from the buyer, 10% from the seller. So everything that goes up on that rack, they collect 18% of that sell.
That's usually where you're going to get that top dollar, though, is out of Barrett Jackson.
Right.
Like if you're really trying to,
because you're attracting all those people who are interested in a certain vehicle, right? So you might have a 66, Nova or whatever. I don't even know what so you might have a certain vehicle that comes out 1975 Travelall. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I thought you were there.
No. I thought there would be some Travelalls, but there was not one Travelall. But it'll just
left, walked right out.
I want my money back. But it attracts all those people from all over the world.
Yes.
And they might want that. So when you travel that far, you got to get that vehicle home, right? For us, it's not that bad. But if you live like in New York or Florida, you got to like.
So your $100,000 car is now $200,000 by the time it touches.
You got to figure it probably costs a couple $1,000s just to get it home. So
can you imagine the taxes at the show in California?
Oh, gee. Well, that's why they probably don't
buy
have
a beater for $10K and it turns out to be like $250,000 by the time.
By the time you get it home and show your friends, hey, Mom, look what I just bought. Oh, the thing's a piece of shit. But Arizona is really beautiful. I'd never really been there and spent some time. And we just kind of went around and did some of the stuff around town. We went to Scottsdale. We stayed in Scottsdale.
Nice.
You've been there, right, for training, spring training?
I have not been to spring training. No, I have not.
Oh, I thought you were a spring training guy.
I have not, no.
Oh. No. So we went to Scottsdale, which is like Old Town in Scottsdale, I believe. And we got to see like all the cool bars and stuff like that. We did that for one night, and that was good enough for the whole week. Because I wasn't trying to be hungover the whole week, But we did that. We had a good time. And then we did some sightseeing. We went out to like an Superstition Mountain, which is a really cool mountain, and there's a lot of Indian reservations out there. So it was really cool. And then we ate a ton. I probably gained 15 pounds.
That's the purpose of vacation, right?
Every time we turned around, I wasn't even hungry. And I was spending money buying something else.
So your buddy whose birthday it was that you went with, was he looking for a particular car or was he?
No, I think he's looking to, well, he's always been interested in it, but I think he's looking to get ideas to rebuild a couple vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So when we got there and we start looking around, he's taking some pictures of some of the vehicles, but he's fixing up a Mustang, like an old classic Mustang. Convertible Mustang, which is really cool. And then like 79 or 80, whatever it was,
So
blazer.
More like a bucket list. Like I want to go see this. That's what I'm in that same boat. I'd like to go see it. I don't think, I might be able to bid on a car like day one. But I would think as the weekend approaches, they start putting out some Ferraris and supercars.
Oh, dude, some of the best built cars. Because they're not just like a cool 1972 Blazer. It's like built by this guy. That makes it more valuable because this guy built it.
Right. Frame off restoration. Where it's like, oh, yeah, that looks like a 83 Blazer, but we put a 2010 LS swap underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, there was all kinds of stuff, and it's actually like reading Japanese to me because I don't understand what some of that stuff means or how cool that stuff really is.
Right.
But there was a lot of cool cars. I just walk up and like, cool car. That's a cool car.
What's that when he goes, don't touch it. Don't even look at it.
What's that guy's name again?
Galifianakis, right?
Yeah,
I forget what movie it is. You just hear that on like TikTok a lot when someone goes, hey, cool car. He goes, yeah, don't touch it. You know what? Don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it. Oh, why that's so funny? Because I just saw an Instagram reel of that, and I was cracking up like, that was freaking hilarious.
Oh, it might be from The Hangover, right? They borrow his dad's Mercedes, and that's right. Hell yeah.
Galifianakis. What's his name? Zach
Galifianakis.
So there was one thing that really like caught my eye, and I thought that it was in my wheelhouse. It was on a Tuesday. They were going to bid this 1989, 88 Blazer.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, this is in my wheelhouse. Like, I could probably afford this, right? It's going to be in the $25,000 range. Well,
for one tire,
it got up to $66,000.
Oh man!
But it was the most beautiful. Like, it just rolled off the showroom floor.
Oh yeah! If you look at that now, you look at some of those, and you're like, oh yeah, like say T-Bar had that old box Chevy truck, the '83. Or Grassi had that inline step side Chevy, and you look at these things. We were using them as like ranch trucks, just beating the piss out of them, getting mad and taking a bat to the tailgate. And dude, you look at them now, dude, they're going across the thing, just buckets of rust for $10K. Or the Auto Trader online. Some of them are just insanity. The last year or so, I don't know what happened, but everyone just doubled the value of their car.
Yeah.
And decided to sell it.
Yeah, and that's how Ashley's car was. We bought it right before COVID, and then once COVID hit, she could have made probably $10,000 off of it, which is unreal.
I just got offered my Chevy truck out there is 07, and it sits in the driveway, and this guy comes by at least once a year, and is like, hey, you interested in selling that thing yet?
Really?
Yeah, he offered me $17,000 cash for it.
Really?
For that truck right there.
I mean, what did
it's a
something go for that?
I paid. That was like the last year you could get like a truck off the lot for like $19,999. Okay. But by the time I was done, it was like $23,000-$25,000 for the thing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess they don't make the short cab, short bed model anymore, so people are buying up the older ones. And that one, like I said, has been sitting in the driveway. So it's an 07, and I just broke like 50,000 miles.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So it doesn't drive much. But also that truck has been to Vegas. That truck's been to like LA. It's been to Washington to my brother up that way. So it's been on some road trips.
With Hack.
Oh yeah.
Buzzsaw.
Yes, sir. That's who I thought King of Hoisters was at first.
Oh.
Someone just driving around drinking a brewski. Yeah. I was like, it could be
King of Hoisters, Hanky Panky.
Hanky, yeah.
His first ones, he was like at a stop sign cracking a beer open. Did you see those?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and there was one where it was like at least a gram of marijuana just sitting on the deck.
I saw that. Like, this guy's got some bizzles. Chilling, cracking a heavy, hoisting it.
Roll one up at 3:00 on a Tuesday afternoon.
Sitting at a red light. Oh, Hank. He was just on the podcast. Good old Hanky Panky. But,
right on, man.
But yeah, so we went there. Food was good. It was a little bit costly. Like, when you're in Barrett Jackson, no matter what you're getting, you're going to get a hamburger, corn dog,
Yeah.
whatever, $20, $25. Drink, another $10. So by the time you're done, you and your wife are done, you're looking at about 50 something bucks, $60.
The world we live in now.
Right.
They're like, you're here. You're not getting water anywhere else.
No.
1 year they were like, a couple bucks, and they realized people were paying that. So they're like, all right, let's make water $5. All right, let's make water $10.
Right.
Next thing is they're going to charge you to take a piss.
Right.
No, you got to hold it. Where else are you going to pee at? Yeah, right. You're going to have to pay me.
We'll let them pee.
Capitalism.
We'll let them pee for free, but then we'll have to make them. We'll make them pay for this and pay for that. But you can pee for free. Toilet paper. You gotta pay for toilet.
You
paper.
want to pee indoors? It's $5.
Right.
You want to go pee out there under that tent?
Well, the porta potties were clean. I didn't get any kisses by the blue dolphin or.
Okay.
I did take one in the porta potty, and then I realized they have beautiful indoor bathrooms, heated.
Oh yeah, right.
With
Probably
hot water to wash your hands when you're done. I mean, beautiful bathrooms.
You couldn't hold it, and then you got inside, and you're like, "Oh man."
Well, I just thought it was. I'm used to California stuff, and it's you go. There's always porta potties, right? So then I tell Ashley like, "Hey, you got to go," So go. I see the porta potties go. Come back inside, and I look over and I see the men's bathroom. I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out. Go in there. Beautiful.
That's why you're paying that admission, dude.
Could have been. And then I realized they had like 5 bathrooms that beautiful inside. So,
oh, man.
Yeah. So, but it was good. I did take a video of, I got sidetracked and I just saw a lot of guys walking around these New Balance shoes.
Yes.
And I just started taking videos of all these New Balance shoes thinking, this is cool. Like, look at these guys. They come from all different walks of life. But the one thing that brings them together is comfortable feet.
Yeah, you could be the richest man in the world or just there to watch the auction itself. And you're probably both rocking a nice New Balance.
New Balance. Some were not even name brand. Some were just like your
That's
Spaldings.
actually how I found out you were at Barrett Jackson, was I saw the dogs are barking. No dogs are barking.
No dogs are barking. Yeah, no dogs were injured in that video.
I didn't know if you were putting the international up for auction, Let's say you put your old international at Barrett Jackson, pull top dollar, you probably walk out of there with $1 million.
I think.
How is that thing? Is it running?
Okay, so let me give you the rundown on it because me and Sonky we've been working on it quite a bit. So, new carburetors coming in on tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
So we took out the whole entire engine. We redid all the seals, all the gaskets, put new exhaust in it. Did a whole bunch of stuff to it, and got it all back together. And the carburetor's starting to leak, which it never leaked. So I took the carburetor off. Gonna get a new carburetor coming tomorrow. And now I'm noticing the fan is wobbling. So now I got to look into getting the fan fixed. But I need to get it fixed before Almond Blossom.
Yes. You're in crunch time, they call it.
I need to get it fixed.
The window's closing.
And I like to drive it around Almond Blossom.
Yeah.
So that's like one of my things.
Load the family up, take them down to the parade.
Do a couple donuts out in the parking lot.
You might as well just get in the parade line yourself, dude.
Right?
It's a classic. Like I said, by the time you get the carburetor on that, minimum 6-figure, I'd be asking.
To sell it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I bet you it was probably right around 20.
There you go.
Maybe.
Hell yeah.
To sell it, 20.
You should put, what do they call it when they don't let it sell? Like no reserve?
No reserve.
You should put a reserve on it for $1 million. Just roll it across the stage. Ladies and gentlemen.
There is a reserve on here. There is a Jeep group, though, that our friends are all in. And the Jeep group was considering putting all their Jeeps in the parade. But then they realized they all like to celebrate Almond Blossom.
Yeah.
So it would kind of defeat the purpose.
That would be the Jeeps that were in the Christmas parade. You guys have the best Christmas parade.
Oh, thank you.
It's almost now, if you don't get here early enough, like the city of Ripon just bottlenecks down in there. Like last year we got here like, I don't know, maybe an hour before, posted up. And this year, 2 kids now, you're never anywhere on time. Never.
Right.
Those days are done.
Right.
So we got there literally like 5 minutes before it started. And if we didn't pull into the old Marvell parking lot, the next thing you know, every way into Ripon, out of Ripon, man. It was just lines of cars.
Oh, I bet.
It was pandemonium. It's like a must-see TV now, the Ripon Christmas.
Well, I've never seen it like that. I've seen it like that on Anna Blossom, but I've never seen it like that for the Christmas parade because we're usually getting the float ready or doing something in it. Which, by the way, we won the first year. The first annual Ripon Christmas parade, we won it. There was about 7 entries.
That was the leg, right?
The leg
Christmas story.
Yeah. Drove the travel. You were there for that, weren't you?
Yes, we followed in the golf cart. Yes, I believe.
You've been pretty much to all of them.
I've been to most of them. The last few years have not participated in the actual loop, though. I have not got into the parade, let's say.
But you've been. I didn't see you this year, but Ashley said you were there.
We were, like I said, we pulled in like let's say moments before kickoff.
Gotcha.
And 2 kids screaming, and so
everybody had a great time.
Actually, once it got going, man, because it's quite the stream of cars. There was one where it was like I think it was like Frito-Lay or something.
Oh yeah,
and they had like a Tesla electric truck. And like Chester the Cheetah was shooting off like, oh man, Ezra lost his mind, dude.
Wasn't that Tesla truck unreal?
It was over the top. Like that parade gets like this show. It gets better every year, my man. Like it's like every time we come back, it's something new. It's like 10 more cars, and then those 10 cars. Actually, this year was funny. It was like some plumbing company. They didn't like just put like one van in. There was like 10 vans in a row that said like, whatever, you ever see you're driving down the road and it's on the door, it's somebody sitting on the toilet.
Oh yeah.
It was like 10 of those in a row.
Really?
I swear, I don't know. They blew the whole year's advertisement budget on one night.
I never even saw that.
Oh, it was like towards the end of the parade. Well, the end of the parade was that Chester the Cheetah, the Tesla truck.
Was Santa in the Tesla truck?
Santa, I think, was behind that, but it was kind of like a grand finale kind of. Yeah, I forget what Santa was in, like the fire truck. Yeah.
Fire truck. I think it's cool because they do float for the 2 youth football teams in town, and they both have a float. And I think that's really cool because you get all the kids involved in it.
Oh, yeah.
And the parents come down. They want to see their kids in the parade. Grandparents want to see them in the parade.
Dude, it's like once you're actually there and you're seated and you're like, rocking and rolling, it's a great parade to go to. Like even if you're not from Ripon or don't have like family invested in it, like if you have kids, it's worth it. Yeah,
good parade. Yeah, that's cool that you guys come every year. That people come from different cities to come watch it. That speaks volumes. But I just around the Christmas time, I'm ready for a good parade. So take me to where did Grandpa used to take us? The Christmas Tree Lane.
Yeah. There's one in Oakdale now. It's like Atlas Road. We've gone out there a few times. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you did go out there?
Yeah. It's like, it's not a dead end road. There's like a weird roundabout at the end of the road. But I guess like if you live there, you have to like sign a neighborhood deal where like, hey, you move in, you got to put like this many lights up and this many. So it felt like it was like not as over the top as years past. But I heard that there was like beef because somebody new moved into the neighborhood and didn't know that they had to do, I don't know, I guess the old like dude that did it over the top, they moved out or something. I don't know. It was still good. I'm not saying, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was still good. I'm not hating on it, but it wasn't, I would say the last few years had been better.
He got traded. He started a new one in Riverbank.
He's had enough. Probably got his PG&E bill and said the hell with this.
So we did a couple weddings on Atlas, and the lady that we did the wedding for, her kids, which, by the way, the coolest thing I ever seen, she had a marijuana bar. Right?
Oh.
You could get booze, but you could also get a...
Like at the wedding.
At the wedding.
I can walk up to like a trailer and say, hey, roll me a...
No, so they pretty much had it at a table. You could go to the table. And then in the front yard, there was like couches, and you could sit on the couches or like had just like
genius.
It's kind of cool. I mean, the bride and groom, they're like, we don't really enjoy drinking. We know that our guests do, but a lot of our friends, this is what we like doing.
Yeah.
So they just had, anyways, while we were doing the wedding, weddings, they had told us come back in Christmas time because that's where the action
it was great. It was still awesome. It felt like a couple of the houses weren't all in this year, maybe.
Yeah.
So it kind of threw it off. And usually, like I said, where that roundabout is, in the middle of it, they last year had a giant gingerbread house. And the year before that, it was like a 10-foot tall Christmas present. They didn't really have the big grand finale, like how Ripon Parade had the over the top. It wasn't the over the top year. But then again, it was still great. It was still good. And I like that idea of, I would be like a lot of my friends would probably use cannabis over, alcohol. They still drink alcohol.
They would probably still have beer there.
Yes, of course. Yes.
But
times are a changing though, huh? Isn't that crazy? Like to even think of that concept. Like if you got married in, let's say, 2001 and you had that on your thing, like people would be like, are you crazy? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that wouldn't fly in 2001. I bet you it wouldn't fly until about 2008.
Yeah, I think it was like when it became recreationally legal was, like around 08-ish, somewhere like there. But I know it like Prop 215 was like 1997, where you could like actually grow a plant or two at your own household. So then then it started kind of really blowing up. But yeah, it was like later in the 2000s where California like decriminalized it because it was just clogging up the court system. I'm sure they're going to have to do the same shit, figure it out with all these other drugs now. It's insane now. So
I went to OC's concert with my brother, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the OC's, but it was in downtown Berkeley, and I think it was the Fox Theater.
Nice.
The Berkeley Theater? I forget what it was. Yeah. Anyways, it was one of those like really
I think
nice.
It's called the Greek Theater.
It wasn't Fox. I think it was just the Berkeley Theater.
Oh,
maybe.
Okay.
Anyways.
I think the one on the Berkeley campus is called like the Greek.
That's the Greek.
Yeah.
That's where I saw Tom Petty.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Me and CPAC, Tara and Caleb, my wife. A little side story. Don't let me forget about the OCs and the marijuana. Speaking of that, Tom Petty had a lot of marijuana, by the way, in 2005, I think it was. Anyways, me and Ashley had just gotten back together, and her whole reasoning for us breaking up at that time was I was not I wasn't even paying attention. Not joking. I wasn't being responsible. I wasn't paying attention. I was just partying too much, and I wasn't taking life serious. And
mind you, you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I was 25. Yeah, just freshly back from Iraq at that point.
Right.
At that time, I didn't think so, but I was only 2 years back from Iraq. So from now and then, my brain is a lot different. Anyways, so we get to the Greek Theater with all of our friends, and we're putting this show on because we bought the tickets a long time before, and in order to go, she said I had to agree to just behave.
Okay.
So we go there, and she said you got to be responsible, blah, 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 the whole woman thing. And so we get there, right? And she's like, tickets, let's get the tickets so that way we can give it to the lady. Tickets, where's the tickets? Son of a bitch, tickets are back in the car about 4 miles that way.
Yeah. Downhill.
So
anyone in Berkeley knows downhill.
Irresponsible Alan trying to be responsible forgot the tickets.
Oof.
And
strike one.
She said, this is why we took our break right here. And so for the rest of the evening, she was a little upset with me, but I got back, I raced back, got the tickets, came back, lost my buzz, by the way.
Oh yeah. A nice 4 mile jog will do that.
Yeah. So we stayed together and we got married after that, and we didn't break up after that. So, in the end, happily ever after, Cinderella story.
Thanks, Tom Petty.
But, yeah. And I think it was Stevie Nicks that came out that really sealed the deal.
Saved it.
She saved it. Yeah. So, anyways, and like even I got CPAC, like, I told you, Alan. I told you. Oh, just shut up, Craig. Yeah. Of all people, I don't need to hear it from you.
Oh, my God. Left the tickets in the PT Cruiser.
And Chuck and Yvonne Sanders went with us, too. But anyways, there was a lot of marijuana at that one. Greek Theater, great concert.
I would imagine, yes, I would imagine.
So back to the OCs really quick. We went to the OCs. My brother I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but I'd never heard of them at the time. OCs is like Sublime meets death metal.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Cool.
So like Band of Horses, Sublime meets heavy metal.
Does it sound good live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really
Sometimes heavier stuff sounds rough live.
No, this was clean.
Okay.
It was clean.
Nice.
But it was a little like different for me. If you ask me, I thought that the crowd was mixed. You know, there was a lot of old people, which was odd. You know, I sat next to a
Like old stoners, like hippie old? Or?
Well, she was like a Berkeley 70-year-old lady.
Okay.
And she was into heavy metal. And she's just ripping a marijuana cigarette. Or kind of sneaking it, I guess you should say. So I'm thinking, everybody's smoking weed in here. They're not allowing you to go outside at that time to go smoke a cigarette. So I'm like, I'll just smoke a cigarette in here.
Why not?
Right? So I sneak down and I'm going to rip one. And a guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, no smoking in here. Like, everybody's smoking. Yeah. What do you mean? He's like, no cigarettes, I mean. You can smoke weed. Yes. No cigarettes. Like, how the hell does that work? So backwards.
Do not let that nicotine hit my lungs. So best not.
They opened up the smoking section about 10 minutes later, but I was pretty upset because how does that work where you can't smoke a cigarette, but it is perfectly fine to smoke weed inside?
We've lost our minds as a society into what is allowed and what's no longer. Like, I guess you would have just had to pre-roll your Marlboros. Make them look like joints.
I should have rolled a hog's leg.
Just filterless though, dude. That would be hurting.
Oh.
Get about halfway through that thing and be like, I'm all right.
Yeah, I could go without a cigarette if I had to do that.
No, but you're right. It's one of those things where it's like become socially unacceptable. Like cigarettes is a stigma now. Like back in the day, someone smoked cigarettes. Okay, they smoke cigarettes. Go do it, whatever. Then they had to go do it outside. Then go smoking outside wasn't enough. Now you got to quit. It's like, dude, yeah, it's pretty crazy what we allow and what we don't allow in the world.
30 yards from a building or.
Oh, dude, we were just talking about that wedding where they had a weed bar. I bet you at that same wedding in 2001 when they said no cannabis, they were all firing up cigarettes right then and there, right in the middle of the damn thing.
Well,
walking down the aisle with a Newport.
Now menthols are illegal, but back then cigarette or marijuana was illegal and cigarettes were kosher. You know, now vice versa, the roles have reversed. Cigarettes are now a crime.
Yeah.
And marijuana is the new norm.
And you know what's crazy is marijuana is probably cheaper to get than cigarettes now.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
The prices also changed drastically. It's like they're almost trying to price people out of nicotine. Like a carton of cigarettes is $100 and something. It blows my mind when I see the prices.
It's $11 a pack.
That's crazy.
So how many packs are in a carton? 10?
I think 12, right?
12.
So you're looking at $150.
Jeez.
And when you used to get them for $25 a carton.
Imagine
if you I guess they would have went bad, but I was imagining you go back in time, people are like, I would have bought this. I would have just bought cartons of cigarettes and face masks.
Sell them now.
Just wait, guys.
You guys haven't seen 2020.
Just wait. I'm going to be the richest
Shit's
one
going to
here.
get real. And I got menthol cigarettes on top of that. Well, menthol now is illegal in the state of California.
Yeah, and those Juuls, the flavored, what are they, flavored vape cigarette stuff, that stuff is illegal now too. So it's like those things went from $5-10 for a Juul to $35-50, but whatever. Kids are still hitting them at school or at, it's like, dude, I don't.
So their whole beef is that they don't want it to seem attractive to the youth.
I guess, yeah, the flavor leads younger kids into the path of smoking in their future. I don't know. I would imagine the same way when we were kids. I mean, our cadet counselors were smoking heaters on the field trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It didn't influence me to want to smoke heaters.
Right.
I was around it. I made my own decision.
Well, if anything, we didn't want to smoke because it smelled like shit inside of their vehicle.
Right. Actually, someone asked me about chew. When did you start chewing? And I told them, like, real talk. When we were younger, I was probably like, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade. There was that Main Street Market right down the street. And there was probably 5, 6 of us guys. It was me, Artie, Gabe, my brother, Tommy Rodriguez, Gary Briggs, the neighborhood kids. And we'd go down there and they'd, one of us, I hate to say it, but they'd, like back in the day, the cigarettes and the chew were right there in the checkout aisle, right? So, you'd buy a piece of candy or whatever and somebody would steal a can of chew.
Oh, really?
So then we'd all put in a dip and go ride our bikes and get all like buzzed and lightheaded and ride. We were like a bike gang riding around town, but we were like all buzzed up on
buzzed
Kodiak.
Bike gang.
Yeah. That was like when I first was like, whoa, like I like this stuff. That was the first time I could remember chewing was like, yeah, we were, those guys were in like junior high and stuff, but like, yeah, I was like, younger one in the group.
Rooster Mint.
Yeah. I remember the first time they're like, yeah, you got to put it in from this side to this side. And I put in like a horseshoe. And bro, within like a minute, I was just throwing up. I was like, no, dude, no, I'm not doing that ever again. But yeah, you put in just a little Kodiak and go ride your bike.
What grade was that?
Oh, I was maybe, I don't even know if I was in junior high yet. I know the older kids were like junior high.
Did you ever shoulder tap?
I mean, it was pretty easier access. I mean, Escalon kind of like Ripon. There was always one liquor store where you could, someone was family or somewhere along the line. So I know we used to always go out to like on your way to Riverbank. It was called Ranch Market.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right there before Jacob Myers Park.
I bought a couple swanks from there.
Yeah. So if you were 16, 17, you could go in there. It was like an Escalon family. There was a girl, she was in my class. Her name was Moidi, Ali, Wafa, and Moidi. They were Hindu people. And he used to say, well, like, because kids would come in there and steal stuff. And he'd be like, I mean, I'll let you buy it, just to keep kids from just constantly stealing from his store, So a lot of kids, yeah, that's what they would do. Like, they would go to the back and they'd go get like a 12-pack of Keystone. And then they'd crumple up a $5 bill. And then you'd wait till nobody was in the store. And you'd like sprint out the front door. But you weren't stealing it because you'd throw money at the yeah, right. So it was like that was his way of like getting away with it, I guess. Because he could be like, well, they stole it. But technically, like,
he gave him money.
Yeah, right. It was like a hit and run.
Exact change.
Yeah, it was like a hit and run. He was probably making money because back then a 12 or a Keystone was like $4. So he was probably making $1 every 12-pack.
That's true. Yeah, ours was Rapona Market, I guess, was our place. But I'm now looking back at it, I'm surprised at how many people would buy kids beer and chew just by like, hey, excuse me, how are you doing today? Good. What do you want? A pack of Marlboro Lights and a 12-pack Coors Light? All right, give me the money.
Right, and back then it was like $20.
Right.
And you were set for the night. Now it's like you go up to somebody, let me get a 12-pack and a pack of cigarettes, maybe a can of chew. All right, yeah, that's $75.
Yeah, no kidding. You got 100 on you? I'll keep the change. No, now looking back at it, though, I mean, what kind of person buys kids booze and stuff like that?
Again, you don't look at these things until like you have kids, and then you think about it like in that sense. We were talking about like youth sports, and it's like everyone's like, what kind of happened with some of the Escalon youth sports fell apart? And it's like, I never really even noticed it until I had kids, and now my kids are about to get into those youth sports, and you're like, damn, do I want my kids to play that, or do they go to the Ripping Knights and, have enough helmets to play and enough,
right,
all the stuff, the summer workouts and good coaches, and have people, that's what I always notice about the Escalon youth sports is like baseball season is here and we got 70 kids this year, but we don't have enough coaches. And it's like 2 weeks before every season, they're looking for like, we need 10 coaches, like 3 at the pony level and 2 at the T-ball level. And it's like, dude, you need to have these things ironed out before you even start taking people's money or registering kids.
Well, and that's the good thing. That's the one perk about having an organized program, I feel like, and wherever you are, is you're going to attract others because they're like, hey, I want to, this program's just put together and you just go and no drama. I mean, every program's going to have drama, but you go to this program, they're already set up, they're established, they're winning program, they got great coaches. You're going to draw those kids that are, their parents give a crap about their kids and they want their kids to win games.
And you have those good behind the scenes people.
Yeah.
Like people see like our success, let's say at Escalon High, but they don't see all the moms and all the, dude, it takes a whole tribe to run like a football program, from the team meals to getting like all the helmets work together, all the equipment, all the, you know, it's a long process that people think like, oh, we just start in August and we go.
Right.
It's like, no, it don't fly like that. I mean, that's the difference in high school football is you have teams that are scratching for numbers and whatever, and you have programs that are like established and have a freshman coach that teaches the same thing they're going to learn JV, that they're going to learn, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not a constant learning curve. And, you know, we're kind of transitioning here, but yeah, that's what we were talking about before is like, I hope that by the time your kids are that age, that Ripon Christian is playing, you know, Escalon once a year, you know, Ripon once a year. Like you guys are at that level. Before, when you guys were in the league, you didn't have the solid youth program and the weight room and and the facilities that you guys have now.
Right.
And like the resources, dude, it can be done. I mean, yes, you guys are light on numbers, but imagine the 2, 3, 4 kids that you're going to pull into that program now that want that exposure, that want also that education, that want, you know, and I mean, Ripon Christian is sitting on a gold mine. I mean, Modesto Christian's produced NFL talent. The TVL's produced countless D1 talent. Like somewhere like Ripon Christian, the next, you know, it could have been Blake Nicholson, that kid that came through Ripon youth stuff and then went off to you know, he might be that NFL guy. You know, you guys let that slip away, you know. So had they been in a more competitive league, I feel like you draw those players back to the team, or you keep them at the team if you have them, or you might draw them in your competitive team. And it's a brotherhood. It's like like we talk about, the football season is like an 18-week road trip or whatever that you go on. But on the real talk, those were my buddies from like 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and then we built that friendship to where once we were in high school, I would have never had that second thought of ever going somewhere else, you know? So it's kind of, you know, I you know, let's be real. Merle and Tice are going to be playing that level. You know, your youth programs are already beating our youth. I mean, you know, that's why I told you the first thing. Congrats, man. I mean, just making it it's got to be to the Super Bowl and stuff like that at that youth level. Like high school kids, some of them, you know, are not coachable, but for the most part, everyone buys in and goes for it. At that youth level, you're not just dealing with the kids, you're dealing with the parents, and you're dealing with, it's like, it is a lot. And to make that kind of run, like, that's what I'm saying. I think you guys are ready. You guys have jumped all the hurdles. It's, you know.
Well, I hope so. And they're talking about joining the TVL and being in the TVL, hopefully, if everything works out right, in 2 years, not this season, but the following season.
It would be the 2024 fall. So
that works out good, because that class that's going to be freshmen then, they are a big class with big numbers and very athletic class.
Right.
So that would be the class to go into it, because that's McKenna's grade. McKenna's in 7th grade now. They'd be going into freshman year then. And that would be a great year to join the TVL, because they can at least put up a fight. And those kids are playing football together now.
Yeah.
In big numbers. And they're being successful. They're successful at it. So if you have the success, you might be low on the numbers, but you have the success and you got bigger balls than brains sometimes.
Yeah.
You can be a little competitive.
It's, you know, it's kind of, you hate to use analogies or whatever, you know, it's like going fishing, right? Like you go fish, you pull, you know, nobody cares you catch the little trout, whatever. Like you go knock off Oakdale, you go knock off Escalon, you go knock off Manteca, and then it's like, man, dude, it's like you flip that switch. And I'm telling you, you guys could have, and the TVL, the Ripon people are going to kill me when they hear this, but I think you guys could have banged with Ripon this year. Like, maybe not on that week to week to week basis, but like, if you're not going to join the league in football, at least start scheduling up some of those preseason games and getting those kids that exposure. And, now with the huddle, everything's online and kids can make their own highlight reels and all that. But like I said, nobody's going to watch, Merle's highlights against Delhi.
Right.
I'm not trying to shit on Delhi, but, it's you either got a team or you got a program. And I feel like you guys have built a program where now it's like you got to take that step. And I'm not saying be the doormat, but, you're going to take some losses, but you're going to learn a lot more through those losses than you are beating everyone 50 to 10.
You put this great earlier. If for those that don't know, Ripon Christian played Houten in the what was it?
It was for the NorCal championship to go to the state.
And so had you played a team like a tough team like say a Ripon High, and then you face a Houten, that would have put you at that aggressive level to compete and maybe finish that game.
Yeah, or it's like if you play these teams in the regular season, like say you played Ripon or you played Houten, say in the preseason, you kind of get a feel for their style, kind of things that they do, and you start to like, whether you win or you lose, you're like constantly learning something. And then you get into that battle in the postseason and you have a 14-point lead. You know how to milk that clock out. You know how to get this game into the fourth quarter where we're dictating the tempo, right? It was like you guys had the lead in that game, yet Houten was dictating the second half tempo. So, I mean, it's a lot of little things, but it's those learning steps. And, I mean, I'm a big supporter of the Trans Valley League, and I think that the reason we have success in the postseason when we play other leagues is from beating each other up. So, I mean,
well, it just shows. I mean, the last couple of years it's happened,
and
right?
it's and I next year's, I think every quarterback returns in the league. Next year the league's going to be as loaded or more loaded. So it's I know Ripon had reached out to Ripon Christian to schedule like a non-league and some of these, and they're not. I don't know. I feel like you guys got to start taking on those challenges. I'm a big supporter of it. I understand the grind that's involved with it. I think, like you said, the Coach Graham's exact words was it's a war of attrition or whatever. But I mean, really, that's what football is. We hold kids out certain games. It's not just the players. It's coaches too. It's learning. I remember when we lost to Hillman, I was like 2018 when they went on that big run and we lost. I told Candace, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like they just kept beating us every year. And Candace was like, I was pissed. I was like, mad, not mad at the kids, but just mad. And she's like, maybe they don't got to get better. Maybe you got to get better.
Just get better.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Get better.
Like,
we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, you kind of, I don't know, you're looking for something to blame or something, because it can't be me, and it's like, no, the only way you're going to do it is you got to buy in. You got to, what do they say about motivation and discipline? Motivation is great, right? But you're not going to be motivated every day. But if you're disciplined, every day you're going to show up and every day you're going to go to work. And those days where you're not motivated, you're going to be there and you're going to get through that workout and you're going to be like, damn, I feel good. I'm glad I did that. So it's like we're teaching those kids like kind of discipline to the point where it's like, it's not about football. This is about life. This is about like one day down the road in life, applying this. You're going to apply this more than you're going to apply, something you learn in, I don't know, physics or, see, that's not,
right. I got you.
It's like a building process. It's a 4-year process minimum. And, eventually you're going to buy in. And if we played Ripon Christian right now, 10 games, like I told you, we beat them 9 out of 10 because nobody runs the table. It's football. The football gods don't let you run the table. But if you join that league and in 4 years we have this same talk, I bet you Ripon Christian could beat Escalon 2 or 3 times out of 10. You know, it's taking those little steps. I mean, that's Central. When I was in high school, Central Catholic came into the TVL. They came up from D5 to D4. Then they ran the D4 after a few years. Then they went up to D3, ran the D3. I'm not saying you guys got to be Central Catholic or anything, but like, you know, that's how you do it. That's the only way you do it.
But they had a winning program, and they started attracting people in their own way, I guess. But they started attracting people to their program.
Yeah.
And then that brought them up.
I think you guys would be more successful than, say, Modesto Christian. And in that last 20-year window of great TVL football, Modesto Christians won the league at least 3-4 times. Won the state championship in 2009. They had that monster team.
Yeah.
But eventually that kid's going to come through your program, and it's going to be that next level kid. And you're going to run through the TVL, and you're going to make that, you know, it's going to happen. I mean, you guys are on the right path to making it happen. It's just like right now, I feel like everyone's dragging their feet because they're just a little bit worried.
They just got to get better.
Yeah, you just got to
get better.
There's only one way to find out, man. It's like getting on the ride. Do you want to just ride that little, the teacups all day? Or, you know, get on that try out the roller coaster, man. I mean, this might be the greatest ride of your life.
That's how I told you earlier about how playing this one team that we face every single year. And, you know, I can't put a helmet on and go play, but, you know, coaching wise, you know, we just got to get better. That's all there is to it. We can't beat this one team, but like Coach Fred said, he's like, let's get better.
Yeah. Eventually, next thing you know, you play that team next year and it's 14-7 at halftime. You know what I'm saying? And then a couple of years down the road, it's tie game at the halftime. You know, it's like you start just building the confidence not only in your coaching abilities or how to play these games, but you start building the kids' confidence. You start building. It's like a family thing, dude. And once you have that unity, it's like the kids, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to let each other down. They're going to go out there and do anything and everything they can to go win, not just for themselves, but for the name on the jersey. That's how Escalon is successful, is like those kids are playing for that community. Those kids are playing like the name on the front, not the name on the back. And it's, you know, their dad played there, their brothers played there, their uncle played there. And that's at that point now where Ripon Christian is like, your brother played there, your dad played there, these people played there, and there's a sense of pride, and there's a sense of family, and there's a sense of like, we're building this shit the right way.
Right.
Now we just take that next step. Imagine if you guys knocked off, you know, like I said, with Escalon, Ripon Christian, 9 out of 10, right? I think if you guys played that same Houston team 10 times this year, I think you guys could have beat that team 3 or 4 times, right? But it just wasn't your night. You guys weren't ready for that battle. You guys weren't ready for that second half.
Right.
And it caught you.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just inexperience, but learning how to hold that lead.
Yeah,
right?
I guarantee you they learned way more that night than they've learned in previous seasons.
Because never in the past 5 years of I don't think they've blown a lead. Not having I think it was a 21-point lead, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the only game where they actually just got throttled was, we said that preseason. You guys played, Central Valley Christian. But imagine if you played Central Valley Christian and then the next week you played Houston. Houston wouldn't seem that fast.
Right.
Houston wouldn't seem that physical. They wouldn't seem, you know, so sometimes going through that grind is like that confidence building you get.
Right.
Like, I just blocked this D1 dude. I'm going to go smoke this Ripon kid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, you need that confidence. That's one of those where it sucks, but it makes you better. You know, nobody's benefiting from blowing teams out of the water 54-0.
No. And 5-5 gets you in the playoffs. So why don't you go schedule just 5 horses and just see what you got? And if you win one of those 5, imagine the confidence you just built. Like, we scheduled that Buchanan out of Fresno, and everyone was like, what the hell were you guys doing? D1. They were playing for like D1 state like 2 years ago. Dude, we took those guys to overtime, and it just like Next thing you know, we thought we were kings of the world. We lost the game, but yet like we won.
Right.
You know, there's wins in losses.
Yeah. Right. And you hear that and it sounds cliche, but it's true though. So I did a little research on numbers because everybody's worried about numbers, right? How many attend school, blah, blah, blah. If you're going into the TVL, can the 245 student high school compete against the Rippons and Escalons, right? Okay, so Ripon High, 992. Escalon has 809 kids. Sonora has 1,741.
Yeah, Sonora's, I think a lot of Valley people, the Valley's getting expensive. They're starting to move into the foothills. And like Sonora's getting bigger and getting good. That Somerville up there in Tuolumne, they had a hell of a year. They're getting good. Argonaut the year before that up there in Jackson won state. So there's some really good football going up there in the mother lode. But then also, like we said, there's teams and there's programs, and those teams that were kind of borderline struggling, they've just fallen off the cliff. It seems like the Amadors and the Calaveras, teams that were, you know, decent programs, but it's just COVID came in and killed not just, you know, some schools, but killed a lot of football coaches, programs, people, I don't know, jumped ship. So I know Ripon Christian, we were talking about joining the TVL. If they don't join the TVL, they're talking about getting in the mother lode league. Now you guys got to travel up the hill every week.
Thing. And here, I'll finish off the last three schools.
Yeah. Yep.
Hillmar, 715. Houston, 768. And Ripon Christian's attendance is at 245 kids per high school.
And that's about capped out. I mean, that your school can't fit probably more than, say, 300. If you added another, say, 50. You're saying like McKenna's class coming up.
Yeah, so McKenna's class. So say there's 75 kids in that grade.
Yeah.
Right? I think a couple of years ago, the graduating class was like at 25 or something.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
That's crazy. And they were competitive 2 years ago.
Yeah, if you have 75 kids a class, 4 classes, so you're at 300 kids in the school. But I'm telling you right now, like out of your 300 kids, like 100 of them are athletes, right? Mm-hmm. Out of my 700 kids, like 100 of them barely even go to school, right? 100 of them could give 2 F's about any sports or anything, right? So it kind of like they throw out these numbers to compare divisions. Also, I think Escalon, I'm not sure on this, but a big portion of our high school is special education.
Oh, really?
We probably have at least 50 special ed kids that get bussed in from San Joaquin County. So I don't know if those kids count on the numbers or don't count on the numbers, but when it breaks down, we pull, about 40 kids a level. So we got about 100 or so kids playing football in high school, 100 to 120. This year we had high numbers, but 2-3 years ago, the team that won state this year, when they were freshmen, that freshman team only had like 17 kids. You know, so.
Well, there you go.
And that's the best way really to learn is like when we start pulling kids up, it puts other kids, say, into a JV game or into a freshman game, and now they're getting those reps and they're getting that experience. And that's the beauty of being, say, in the TVL over the Motherlode League is we're going to have Hillmar has a freshman team, Ripon has a freshman team, Escalon has a freshman, Houston has – so you're going to get games at all levels. So you might get to the point where you have a varsity, a JV, and a freshman football team. And that's the next big step you guys take. The next big hurdle is, like you said, if I'm coming into high school and I got to learn a whole new offense, I basically have blown my freshman year because I spent that whole time learning. Whether I'm good or not good, I'm still learning that thing. So now we're already down to 3 out of 4 years. And, you know, take that next year, you're playing JV. Well, what if they pull you up to varsity or something? Now you're losing, you know, it's about getting reps. You know, the more reps these kids get, it's like the game slows down. And when the game slows down, that's when you just see that next level. That's when you just see like that domination. That's when you start dictating the tempo of a game. You control the game. You don't let the opponent, you know.
Right. Yeah, and then the other thing we talked about was Manteca going to D1.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was something that's been. Is it official or is it something that they just kicked around?
Yeah, they started. So it's like competitive equity. So like if you win a certain division X amount of times or in back-to-back seasons, then you have to then go up to the next level. So let's use I told you Central Catholic earlier. They went, D5. They were in the Southern League just like you guys were. Then they came into the TVL, took over the TVL. Then they went into the Valley Oak League. And now they started dominating that league, so they're throwing them in that C-Cal with Manteca, Central, St. Mary's, like Edison, Stockton. The heavier hitters. Downey, I think, is gonna maybe move into that league.
Oh, Downey is too?
Yeah, so there's gonna be
Downey had a great season this year.
Right. So so it's one of these things where like
their varsity,
you want to win. Yeah, they went 10-0 in the season, and then the playoffs. D1, you're gonna hit like Folsom and Central Catholic, and Downey's not that level yet, but they could be. Like I really think if they closed a couple of schools and didn't close the school, but say disband the football program from say Modesto High and Davis High, like schools that say are struggling, or Bayer, and you took football out of those schools and you made like just 3 of the Modesto City schools have football, kind of like in Manteca went open enrollment. So everybody that was good at football transferred into Manteca High. And then Manteca was great at football. If you were good at basketball, you transferred into say like East Union. And then East Union got really good at basketball. So like with an open enrollment in Modesto, you could get all the Modesto kids, say, to come into Downey, or like Stockton did it as well. Like Edison, all the city school kids went to Edison because they want the exposure. They want the big games. Right. They want, and if you're at Modesto High, we get more fans and more people at a freshman game than those guys get at a varsity homecoming game.
What's really sad is, speaking of that, is when you go to a game and so whether your bleachers are filled or not, but usually the Knights bleachers are filled, or whatever team.
Right.
What's really sad is when the opposing team has like 5-6 sets of parents in there.
Right.
Right. And you're thinking, there's 30 kids on the squad. You're telling me that only 6 parents can make it to the game?
Right.
And I understand it's a 5:00 game maybe, and parents are having a hard time getting there. But damn, your kids only play this game one time.
Yes.
Right? So it's just sad to see that those kids, and I was one of those kids, I guess, so that's maybe why it hits a little bit harder. But it's just sad to see that. And it would take a lot for me to have to miss one of my kids' games.
You know what the most beautiful thing about our league is? Everyone talks about the football and the great. Dude, it's packed house every Friday night. Yeah. The band. Sometimes in some big games, the visitor, like Sonora comes to town, they bring their band to Escalon. Houston's brought their band with them to Escalon. We've, like you're always in front of like a big environment. It makes every game feel like a playoff atmosphere. It's more than just like X's and O's and playing the game. It's, can you play in front of like a packed house and people are yelling and screaming and I can't hear the play call. So now I got to improvise, and, it's like scenarios like that, and you're not going to get that, in that Southern League. Yes, there are schools, like you said, where the parents show out and whatever, but I think a lot of times we get some of these big away games because we travel. You go see Escalon play. Even when we went all the way up to Sutter, we had more. They were the number 1 seed. I bet you we had more fans on our side. Yeah, I mean, they were a full house, but ours was a full house and people bringing their lawn chairs and wrapped around. Like, I don't know, man. It's the environment. I feel like before games too, like, it's crazy. Everyone, has their superstitions and their routines. I always say like the same little like prayer. I just am like, first, like, don't let anyone get hurt. That's my biggest blessing as a coach, is I've never had the paralyzed kid or that guy that his heart stopped this year, the Buffalo Hamlin, something like that, where like, oh my God. So first you're like the health and safety, not just my kids, all the kids. You never want that.
Opposing team.
And the second thing is, dude, is like let's just like thank you for this night, for being a part of this environment. The whole reason we coach is we want our kids to experience those moments. And it's like, that's what you're praying for. Just an awesome game. No one gets hurt. The band is jamming. Bro, we have to bring like 2 buses. We got so many cheerleaders and it's crazy, right? And then once you get a taste of that, like you said, you go to these other games and it's like, it could be somebody's homecoming or whatever, and there's like 50 people.
Yeah.
And they're there because they dropped their kid off. And
one of my biggest beefs is, no pun intended, when the opposing team has a shitty concession stands, right? And I'm looking forward to that, like tri-tip nachos with jalapenos on the side, and they're like, yeah, sorry, we only got 2 guys back here. It's slim pickings. I got a soda and a bag of Cheetos, and we could some people give out top ramen and like a hot dog or something.
Yeah, no. There's another TVL for you. Escalon's like the tri-tip. Everyone's about it. Was it Hilmar has the linguiça corn dog? Everyone talks about the linguiça corn dog. And then
the linguiça corn dog.
Yeah,
that's like a heart attack. The breaded linguiça.
Yeah.
Deep fried linguiça.
Yeah. No, it's man. I could harp on it a million times, and I feel like I've been like trying to compliment you guys into this, and it's like it's if there was ever a moment in time to take that jump, because like I said, it's crazy. Before you know it, your kids are gonna be suiting up for high school ball, and I want to see your boy run for 100 yards at Ingle Field. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you guys. I want to see your kids' team be the first team to upset Ripon High. I want to see, and there's only one way to do that, dude. And it's like you said, just you gotta. I don't want to say grow some balls or whatever, but you got to go for it. You got to jump, dude. The house is burning, dude. You got to jump.
Right.
It's now, dude. Now's the time.
Yeah. No. But coming from you, because you're a football guy, coming from you, it means a lot with you complimenting that whole program, because I feel like you would be brutally honest if they weren't ready for it.
Yeah,
you would say, dude, you guys should not play. Right?
Yeah,
if that were the case.
I think if you get into that league and you get into that stretch, there are teams that you can knock off. There's still Orstimbas in the league. You guys have plenty of experience playing those guys. That school, talk about reading numbers of schools, they're at 1,000 kids now.
They're at
something crazy. That whole west side over there is growing like crazy. Patterson.
965. Yeah, Patterson, their numbers are crazy.
Insanity, dude. And yeah, we played, what was it, Pacheco, the second high school in Patterson, in playoffs in the first round. They probably had like 20 fans. You get a feel for those. It's a playoff game, and like nobody even.
Where's the second high school at?
I've never been. We played them at home, so I haven't been to that high school. But it's Pacheco High and Patterson. Obviously, the old Patterson High.
You know what threw me for a loop is Newman's high school is called Oristimba.
Yes.
Why wouldn't Newman's high school be called Newman High School?
Yeah, it's I have no clue what it's. I think it's like the Indian tribe or something that was.
Well, we already don't know where Newman is. Most people don't know where Newman is, let alone you threw a wrench in the thing, and now you call it Oristimba. So just freaking call it Newman High School and make it easier for the rest of us.
That whole west side out there is just blowing up, dude.
Well, they got all those Bay Area folks coming in.
There's another team that used to be in the TVL. Patterson was in the TVL. They competed very well for years, and it just they kind of outgrew the league, and they built that second high school. And it's kind of what would happen, I think, to Oakdale. Like Oakdale's getting to that point where they might need to start looking at a second high school, or like an Oakdale Christian or something, and with that start pulling kids and killing that. Actually, I got a little insider info. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but we're playing at Oakdale next year.
Really?
Yeah.
In preseason?
Yeah. No, it'll be week 4, I believe. It'll be a preseason, but they got a new coach. That Merzon guy hung it up, And I think it's Murray, something like that. Andy Murray, something. Maybe I'm.
Have you guys been trying to do this for a while?
Oh, we've been trying to play Oakdale for years.
Really?
Yeah, they've ducked.
Really?
Yeah, and there's been. I don't blame them. I mean, it used to be where like if you played a school like us and you lost, like it would kind of hurt you because like if you win, oh, you're supposed to beat Escalon, and if you lose, it's like, oh, you lost to a small school, right? Well, now everything goes on like a max preps scale. So like even in a loss, if you play a team that has a high max rating, like even in a loss, you can still move up. Like, let's just say this year we kept winning and Houston kept winning. We both won state. Riverbank, who's in our league, is like ranked like, oh, how many is there? 1,000 schools in California that play football. They're probably ranked 999, right? But we kept winning. So Riverbank, next, you know, they're in the top 800, and then they're in the top 700. Riverbank High is like 1-9 this year, but they're like max preps better than half of the state of California. Why? Because their losses were to teams that had very big success.
So they're in the TVL?
Not anymore. So they're jumping ship. Okay. Riverbank's out.
Okay.
Livingston is out.
Okay.
The travel. They were tired of.
Where are those 3 teams going?
Livingston is going down to some Merced league with like El Capitan and some of those new schools. Riverbank is going into Motherlode League.
Okay.
So they're going to, and that's what Ripon Christian is trying to go with Riverbank. And it's like, because, I don't know, it's just a bad decision. And then Somerville or Sonora was going to leave the Motherlode, come into the TVL.
Yeah.
And I love that. And talk about youth programs, like Sonora, their Pop Warner programs are dominant.
Really?
So, like, you know, we might not win the TVL they're moving in for the next 4 years. We might not win the TVL for 4. I mean, they're going to, but it's like one of the greatest venues to play a football game. You talk about going to see a game in the snack bar and a fall Friday night up at Sonora in that stadium. Bro, it's like it's got to be the top 10.
Are they turf or grass?
It's turf.
Yeah.
But it's got to be one of the top 10 stadiums in California. It's
really,
bro. It's
what, this
so
got
nice.
Like mountains in the background.
So the field is basically cut into the mountain.
Okay.
And so the whole side of the mountain is they like cut, instead of having bleachers, they cut the rock. So the bleachers are like steps in into the mountain. The field itself is like pristine. And then like right next to the field, they have like a super like aquatics pool and all. Like their facilities are next level. They got the numbers. They got good youth programs. It's everything you would want. Yeah, right. It's everything you want in a league. So it's like we're trying to pull those teams and make the TVL like the super conference.
Yeah.
And like we are literally extending an arm to you guys. Like, come and join this. You guys will hang in basketball. You guys are winning it right now anyways. Volleyball, you guys dominate. Baseball, softball. I mean, you guys would be competitive in everything. It would just be the monster of football that you would have to, you know, go through the grind.
Put your big boy pants on and play. And just
imagine the places you would get to play at, dude. There would be a 6-week stretch where you would get a game, say, at that Sonora. Or you go down to Hillmar and play in that rowdy-ass place.
Yeah.
And they're remodeling that stadium.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Escalon, we're remodeling it. That's another hurdle for us next year. We have no home games.
Really?
Yeah, the stadium's not going to be done until this time next year.
Are you guys putting in turf?
Not turf. We're actually,
thank goodness,
we're stealing the blueprints and the plans from Ripon High.
Oh.
We're trying to copy that drainage and all the all-weather track. Like we got approved. It's something like 2.1 million, but like 2.1 million barely does anything in California now. So it's like it's going to be a lot of people helping out. Grossi Electric's going to do a lot of the stuff. CT Brayton hopefully help us with some stuff. My neighbor owns Pacific Southwest Irrigation, so he's going to help Jim Clare put in all the sprinklers. And so we've got the donors and the help, it's like California, it's just getting things approved and getting the green light. You know, we're like waiting. Everything got put on hold because we put it out to bid in California, and like by law, everyone gets a chance to bid on it. And supposedly, however we put it out to bid was wrong. And so somebody tried to sue us because they didn't get a bid on the project. And then after they sued us and we re-put it out there, they didn't even bid anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was like one of those things.
You know who would be a great guy to manage that project?
Yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah, right. He's been helping. He has been a part of some of the meetings and some of the stuff. My dad was actually the one that got the blueprints from Ripon High.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess when you do a county project, because a lot of it was county money that helped build the Ripon, it all goes on record. So my dad was able to use his whatever county, whatever, when he was mayor. He was friends with one of the ladies that helped. I forget her name. But anyway, so yeah, my dad had used his connections to help.
That's good.
Yeah, it's just because really a lot of it is just hurdles. How do you avoid the ADA hurdles? How do you avoid if you're putting in this, it needs a certain drainage and everything has to be a certain code. I think those blueprints alone were like $50,000 that we had to get through the state. And they looked like the exact, like I could have just printed out the Ripon ones. They were the exact same thing, and they charged us $50,000 to like print them, you know?
Well, the cool thing about when Ripon built theirs was you saw a community come together and build it. Like, okay, I know this guy, he's got an excavator, or I know there's loopholes in that. Like, technically you have to be, but if it happens to get done,
right.
At one night, we wake up the next morning, go out there, and it's done.
Yeah.
Then well.
And a big help is you guys, like I said, we were talking about earlier, the quarterback club and how they manage resources and stuff. When funds and things were drying up, you guys had that to fall back on that helped.
Well, big
get
sponsors.
Get the walkway. You know, we could get the field done and the entrance done, but we don't have enough to pave the concrete to the
do the bathroom,
do the
bleachers,
right. So that's where we're like got this money approved, but like I said, 2.1 million. Like 10 years ago they were going to redo it and it was like $1 million and everyone threw a fit. $1 million, oh my god, on a football stadium. Now that same exact thing, it's like $4 million.
Sure.
You know,
well, yeah, everything goes up and the state starts wanting more money.
Everybody got a hand in the cookie jar. Oh, $1 million project, guaranteed 250,000 of it goes to someone that didn't even show up one day. Right? He's in an office somewhere that hit print on a printer and get his cut. You know.
Well, and there's different stages of that thing. So that 2.1 million might go for the lawn, like maybe the basics, right? A lawn, the track. The track's a big expense. The fence, you got to have a certain kind of fence around it. You got to have the ADA walkways, and then maybe the next step might be raising funds for the scoreboard.
Yep.
The next funds might be doing the ticket booth to get in, or I know this is how Ripon's they also did a bathroom.
Yeah, it's just so many like little hurdles, right? Like you can't just like knock over the bathroom and build a new one, right? Like you have to redo all the ADA stuff, right? So it's like they use the phrase putting lipstick on a pig. Like it looks pretty and they're gonna put all this nice and fancy, but did they really fix the underneath or the structural problems? So I don't know. I think they're trying to like do it all, but like in order to do it all, then the budget like just exploded. You know, so then it's like, and then on top of it, we talk about all this stuff to build it, but you guys actually with the quarterback club have people that maintain it and take care of it and seed the grass. And we don't have any of that. Who's going to take care of that shit? They're going to, that costs money. And so we're running into a lot of hurdles and a lot of things, but I know for a fact that they officially said we will not have any home games next year. So 10 games on the road.
Public knowledge?
Yes, well, it's not public knowledge, but now it is, I guess. But people are talking about it, so it's out there. We haven't posted it, just like the Oakdale game. We haven't posted it, but yes, it is official. We are taking on Oakdale this year. We have added, I think, Merced High this year. We added Buac Colony this year. And we added Tracy High to our schedule.
Buac, what is that, like Atwater?
Yeah, I think it's one of those schools down there. It's down in Merced. Yeah, I mean like I said,
are those bigger schools?
They're all D1.
Really?
Yeah, we don't in preseason. We don't play any Calaverises anymore. Any
really?
Of that. I mean, it's tough because this is the big problem. We field varsity, JV, and freshmen. So when we want to go get a game, we got to find a program that has varsity, JV, and freshmen.
Right.
These D3, D4 schools don't have that anymore.
Right.
So we go and hunt down bigger dogs because we want to get those games. And we're not afraid to go 0-4 in the preseason because we know if we can win 3-4 TVL games, we're in the dance.
Right.
It's like being a kid. Got to have a ticket to the dance to have a chance to get laid, right?
Right.
Like, you got to get in the dance. That's Ripon Christian. You could schedule 4 preseason cupcakes, join the TVL, go through that gauntlet, knock off, say, Ripon and or Stimba. You're 6-4. You're now the 4 seed in D5, D6. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You're still getting a home game. You're still getting – that's how much weight it carries. So it's like you can't be scared of losing. I feel like some of our best games – we're in losses. Like, we learned more. Like 2019 when we made that run, remember we came down to Ripon, you guys kicked our ass.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, oh, Escalon was the #1 team in this day. They got smoked. That flipped the switch for Ripon that year, and they went on the run in one state. And that humbled us to like, hey, we got to go back to work. And then that flipped our switch, and we made a run. So it's like,
I know exactly what you're talking about because we had a situation against the team this year where it was a humbler. The loss was a humbling game, and it made the kids open up their eyes like, we can't just walk into this thinking we're going to beat this team.
Yeah, dude.
You know? And so it's just one of those losses that's a good thing.
If you're getting off the bus every Friday, just like, oh, we're rolling, we're smoked, like, that's not a good thing, man.
No.
You know, and one of the things I'm most proud of about us is, like, our Tuesday is harder than a Friday sometimes.
Oh,
like,
really?
We go hard in practice so that, like, we joke, you know, you kill yourself here so you don't die out there. You know, like, you sharpen the skills here and then, you know, put it together. And then there's going to be those weeks where you don't have it. That's just football. That's the football gods. The kid that never fumbled.
Right.
The quarterback that never throws a pick threw 5.
Right.
You know, like, I've been there, dude.
So here's one other selling point for the Knights going to TVL. With the Southern League, they're having to play schools where their campuses are 2 hours away from our location, right? So what that means is all those kids that play sports, they have to leave at 12:30 and miss 2 periods, 3 periods of school because they're going to. So they're losing out on all.
We're going to Mariposa tonight, guys. We're going all the way on to Merced and up the hill, and
So you're missing out 3 days a week, 2 days a week on altogether probably 7-8 periods of school, and you got to make that up somehow.
Yeah,
right? You're already an athlete, so now you got to make sure you have good grades to play. And that's just a setback. So that's one of those things. Being in the Southern League is tough for those kids because you're missing out on that much schooling. And the whole thing is you want the kids to go to school.
And can you imagine getting on that bus on a 2-hour ride to Mariposa just to beat them 50-7?
Right. Though that's exactly it. The girls volleyball team's going there, drive 2.5 hours, play for about 30 minutes total, and then get back on the bus and come home.
Right. And if you join the Motherlode League like your coach wants to, or your ADs want, instead of TVL would be Motherlode League, you're talking Amador, Argonaut, up in Jackson. You're talking Tuolumne, Somerville. You're on the road again.
Right.
You're back on the road. Bret Hart, Angels Camp.
Well, and the only reason why I bring that point up is because playing men's volleyball, I know it's a joke, but playing men's volleyball in high school, we played all Sacramento teams. Mm-hmm. So that means we leave school at noon, at lunch, pretty much, to go play a team in wherever, Sheldon, Elk Grove,
right,
Nevada City, wherever we were playing. But we were excited about it as kids because we get to lose out on the school. But the end of the day, you want the kids to be in class, right?
Yeah, of
and
course.
then jam over to across the street to Ripon and play them.
Yeah,
something quick.
You
don't want to be on the road.
Your longest TVL trip, would be, well, if Sonora joins, Sonora or Hilmar. Hilmar becomes a pain in the ASS on like a Friday night. You're trying to get down Highway 99. Like if it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, you gotta leave at like 3, whatever, But it's football. There's more process, more preparation. Whereas like basketball and stuff, you might be able to leave, right after school and stuff.
Right.
But there's.
But I'm even talking about like girls soccer.
Yeah.
What every sport that you're playing.
Yes.
You
right. We focus on football because it is, but like, on the flip side, can you imagine like, it would get old. It just wouldn't be that competitiveness, that edge, that like if I'm D1 athlete and I got a D1 mindset, give me some D1 games. Give me this atmosphere. Give me some of this that like I'm craving. And I can put that on the sizzle reel. I can put it on my huddle. I can show a clip of me getting a sack. Let's say Merle's playing against Escalon one night and he has a pick 6 and 2 sacks on defense. That tape carries weight. That tape, every JC in the Valley just saw that tape. Right. He does that same thing in a game that's 60-7, and people are like, why was he in the game?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then that play gets kind of watered down because you're like, well, you're playing freaking Delhi or
right.
Whatever
And everybody loves to compare scores. Oh, we almost beat Houston and Houston beat Escalon. So if you want to play the compare game, jump in the game, dude. But you cannot compare from outside, you can't be windows. You can't just look in and be like, oh, we could do this or we could do that. It's like, if you're going to do that, then keep your opinions to yourself.
Right.
When you lose that game, you're humbled, and stay off the Twitter and stay off the, it's like, but then on the flip side, I saw a lot of like RC kids also putting like, our coaches tell us when we beat teams 50-0, you guys are, could play in the TVL. We can beat Escalon. We can.
Where do you see that at?
No, I've seen former Ripon Christian players like they have that mind. They want to be that next level. You guys have produced. Oh man, the number of athletes that go on to the next level and do things for the size of school you have, it's amazing, dude. It is. Like, you guys keep their grades up. You guys keep them, everything. What was that one kid? He's playing hoops at he was the quarterback a few years ago. Now he's like starting for San Diego State basketball, Alger or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You got kids like that came through the program that are D1 kids, dude. And it's like, I don't know. They have that mindset in them. They have that mentality. They want these games, and it just feels like.
I mean, to speak on that, I had lunch with a guy that graduated probably 3 years ago. Okay. 2 years ago, probably 3 years ago, he graduated. And I asked him the same question. Like, how would you have felt about joining TVL? He's like, dude, that would have been a dream. I know we would have got humbled and got our butts kicked, but we would have been at that level.
Yeah.
Would have been at that competitive level.
And even like games, like I said, you knock off that Ripon one night, you knock off Houston one night, you knock off one of these teams. Let's just say, heaven forbid, I'm saying this in here, let's just say Ripon Christian went into Escalon one night and won.
Did that
right?
hurt? That hurt a little
bit? It did hurt, but it's like, dude, it could happen. But the only way that is ever going to happen is to take that step. Or schedule that, like I said, preseason game, or move on up to that thing. And if there was ever a time, I feel like we've been saying this for an hour here, but this is the time to do it. The kids want it. Former players want it. Everyone wants it. It's kind of like
time to get better.
Yeah, it's like kind of like you're a kid and your parents are telling you no, 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 no. It's like, dude, eventually, someone's gonna have to stand up and be like, this is the right move. This is the time to do it. And like I said, 4 years, things can change. A lot can change. Let's just say in 4 years, now you're middle of the pack in the league and they reevaluate realignment and you get the decision, do I want to stay or do I want to jump out of here? That's what they did. It was about 2010 through 2014 you guys were in the TVL, I believe it was, something like that. So it's been done. And if it's too much, then you take that step back out and you're good with it. So it's it's a 4-year commitment, but it's not just football stuff. It's having the resources, the community, the families, the team meals, there's so many pieces to the puzzle, and you guys have every piece to the puzzle. And that's the biggest that's the biggest compliment I can give you guys. I feel like I've been kissing your guys' ass here for an hour.
I know. I kind of like this. Let's keep going.
Dude, like, I actually had the other day, I was at the basketball game when you guys came into Escalon and beat us. Wiener Dude was there. Brian Van Groningen was there.
Oh, nice.
And it's kind of the same chat, it's with the basketball stuff. It's because it's all in or all out. Like, that's what they're proposing. Like, you join us for all sports or you go Southern League for all sports. So, basketball-wise, too, it's going to kill those programs, right?
That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, right. It's
so
you won't even get Ripon RC basketball anymore.
Eesh.
That'll be gone.
Oh, really? So they would take that.
Ripon RC volleyball, basketball, all sports, unless they did a preseason game. That's what they're proposing. We want teams that field all sports, teams that field all levels. And if you're just going to be here for basketball and baseball, then you can go join that league for basketball and baseball, So it's because I think you guys dipped out on football, Southern League. This last year was volleyball, was Southern League, which TVL was awesome. Escalon was good. Ripon was good. Like, you're going to, that rival, that'd be dead, dude.
No, you need that.
Yeah.
You need that rivalry.
You're almost killing the rivalry. If there is one, there's at least a little basketball rivalry. It's usually between Ripon and RC for the basketball championship every year. You'd be losing that too. That's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, hopefully this gets resolved soon.
Yeah, I think it's February 14th, 13th or something. It's like not this Friday, but next Friday is the next realignment. There's 3 meetings. The first one was all the proposals for the new leagues. The second one is to vote on if they like it or whatever, and then the third would be the final revision. So we'll know by March here, but I know the next meeting's like February. I'm supposed to do actually another podcast here to talk kind of about this stuff, the 209 Prep Sports podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's another one, Coach's Corner, too, with Mario Ramos. He's a teacher up at Venture Academy in Stockton.
Oh, nice. How'd they find you?
I've been on a couple different little, phone call-ins. Well, so Andy does a lot of them, and then, sometimes he's got a lot of shit going on, so every now and then I'll just kind of jump on for Escalon because Hoover doesn't, I don't know. You got to kind of have the gift of gab a little bit when you're on these things because – it's like an interview here. Like, I'm sure for a minute or two, people are like, flip the channel. They don't want to listen to, the same old talk or whatever. So it's kind of one of those things where, I don't know, unless you do podcasts or you're a part of it, it can be,
right,
not overwhelming, but, you can either be that guy that interrupts too much or you can be that guy that says too much or, you got to know what you're, I guess, allowed to say and not allowed to say.
Well, and you're comfortable behind the mic, and you're knowledgeable about what you're talking about. So that's
and they ask me about they ask me about other kids, other teams from the league, other players, other things. It's usually just like football chat. Just the.
You're pretty educated on all the other coaches in the league, the players coming up. You watch a lot of film on the games, so
you know what it is really is the fact that my family or my extended family is rooted in these programs. So my mom went to Ripon High. So we have family that go through the Ripon programs. My dad's Ripon Christian. So, and our cousins and our family and your kids are all go through the Ripon Christian. So I see the youth programs. My brother-in-law, Gary, is Houston. They live out in Houston, Waterford. So his kids come up through the Houston programs. Actually, his son now is going Turlock Christian.
Oh, is he?
So I kind of have the insider, whatever. I guess they're bringing back football.
Oh, nice.
Turlock Christian is and stuff like that. And then my father-in-law, Candace's dad, he was a great quarterback at Hillmar High.
Oh, was he?
So I know Hillmar people, and so it's weird, like our biggest rivals, sometimes it's funny. You get the call from my mom, hey, we're playing Ripon, don't make an ass of yourself, Or we playing Hillmar, and my father-in-law's calling me that week, what's the game looking like? So it's like, I don't know. I'm always... Or my brother Shane, his kids now are all in all the Oakdale programs, the youth Mustangs, and
are they?
Yeah, we went and watched seventh. It was a battle. It was 7th grade. I think they're called the Oakdale Rams. I think the junior high. So it was Oakdale Rams versus El Portel Panthers, the Escalon.
Was
Escalon Junior? It was a junior high basketball. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm at like junior high basketball games, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for my boys to get into that stuff. I mean, they're 2nd and 4th grade right now. All right.
I believe Ripon Christian starts fielding like travel, at least basketball. Like they have like a 6th grade team, I think.
I want to say I just heard the Royals moved it to 5th grade.
Oh, 5th grade? Yeah. Because I think my nephew, Turlock Christian, they play Ripon Royals, I think, is one of their games. So that's the game I'm going to here. I think in a couple weeks, I'm going to go check out Caleb. He's pretty good. I mean, the kid's got a full gym in his backyard. He better be good, huh?
This is the Acosta's where I took the orchard out around the house.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a nice
little
setup.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but their family is very deep rooted in Houston. And, when Houston beat us, I got every phone call from every Houston friend and buddy, and everyone has to let you know. And that's how it should be. I mean, bro, if you won every game and there's no rivalries, there's no competition, there's no, there's going to be a season. Shit, it might be next year where we go 5-5 and we lose in the first round. And we've been on an amazing run. I mean, my God, really the last 3 championships that could be played, we've won, because 2020 we lost COVID. We won state in 19, and then 2020 we lost. 2021 we made it all the way to the NorCal, and then this last year 2022 we won the whole state again.
Right.
It's like that ain't gonna happen next year. I mean, it might. See me if you're on video, catch me praying real quick. I mean, it could happen, but just the football guys, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
You're gonna catch an injury one year. The line's not going to be there when you're the running backs, the defense. Something's not up to, we've just been lucky. We've had just great classes, great waves of kids, and success breeds success. And, and like I said, along the line, you have to take those lessons. You got to take that humbling loss. We've had our ass kicked before, we've,
So what are some of your superstitions? You got pregame superstitions. You got your meal. You got. Do you take a certain route to the field?
My worst one this year was every Friday I would jump in my pool to stretch, and that was great in August, September, October, and then we started getting into November.
Yeah,
and then we made it to December, and jumping in that pool on Friday was like. I would maybe jump in for 30 seconds and then jump right back. It was like part of I think every year it's a different food. I think the week that we played Ripon this year, I made quesadillas at home, to eat on the way to the game. And we had a great game. So every game after that, it was quesadillas.
Oh.
Or it's always something stupid the Escalon Times lady Marge. I'd have to give her a hug on the 25-yard line she just had a baby or a granddaughter, and we just had a baby girl. So they're the same age. So we would she'd show a photo. It was weird. We had to, it was very, very If you could go back in time, I could probably sell tickets to my pregame. Like, what is that? Spend a day with a yeah, right. Go along for the ride. There was a lot more. There was a little bit of smoke time and there was a lot more pregame. Now with the kids and stuff, it's Candace is really cool on game days. As long as we get them down by their like lunchtime nap, then I kind of go through my routine. But no, I'm man, dude, it's the same food every Friday. Like I said, 2 years ago was like roast beef sandwich from Marvell.
Oh, really?
Right? And I'd come in there every Friday, and she knew. And I was like, I'd even tell her, like, I think this is the reason we're winning, man. I don't know. Our defense is playing good, but I swear it could be the roast beef too. I'm not sure.
But I noticed you wear a big straw hat.
Yeah, that's
so. Like if I'm watching you on NFHS, that's who I look out for.
And it's a new hat every year. I start it when we start in the summer, and you start building the sweat. And like this year, we we lost one of our coaches, so we had Greg Largent, like these decals. So I made sure had my decal in there. I don't know, just there's some superstition. When we actually were losing some games this year, I had to go back to my clothes that I wore the year before, which were about a size too small.
Yeah.
So if you did notice this year as well, I was wearing last year's coaching outfit, which was like slim fitting to say the least.
Just
a little tight. Yeah. I actually had to put the sweatshirt on under the shirt because the sweatshirt was so skin tight
So I did notice, because I know that before the game and after a loss, I just don't. If I'm at the game watching your guys' game, I just don't talk to you. I tell the boys we don't talk to Coach Frosty. We just leave him alone. But after a win, I can approach you and come talk to you. But after a loss, I keep my distance. I don't even text you. I just leave it alone. I figure the next 2 days, once it wears off, I'll get a hold of you. But that one time before game, I didn't realize the seriousness of it, and I was having Tice go over there and talk to you, and I felt bad afterwards because I'm like, oh, okay, this is his routine, this is his thing, this is what he does, and I just had Tice go in there and just blow it up. So
no, it's not even that. Like Candace will tell me too, like, hey, me and Ezra, the kid, we were waving and you didn't wave. It's like I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm not. It's the minute you kind of come out. So we tell the kids, when you go out that door, the minute you walk out that door, like the world shuts off. The only thing that matters is kind of like what we're doing right here and what's going on. And like the first couple years, I was like, oh, hey, Candace, I'll come get you in the cart and bring you to the game. And it was like, and it's like I always felt, I don't know, rude. Like people would, like you said, say hi or come up or whatever. And it's not like you're brushing them off, but I'm not even like paying attention to that. So It's, in a sense, it's yes. And then if let's say we're ahead in a game or something where you kind of the focus and you're able to kind of just chill back a little bit, there's always a game or two where you're like, man, you look back at the crowd and you're like, wow, what a big crowd. But also on the flip side, and people don't realize this, I have, and it sounds crazy because I'm very sociable, and I have extreme anxiety.
Really?
Like anxiety. Yes, I never had it before, but ever since my accident, when I'm in like say a confined space or I don't have like access to get out of somewhere, sometimes I get like anxiety, like paranoid. It's weird. It can happen in the car. I could be driving my car and be stuck in traffic and my car's blocked in and I start having like a panic attack. Like I need to be able to get out. So it's like a lot of times in football game, like people are like, you park in the same spot and do the same thing and this, is that superstition? It's like, it's almost to just control my anxiety. I know that the cart's right there. And if I got to go and get like, even like say senior night and they're like, hey, come out on the field and shake hands. Like I make sure I'm not looking at all the people and everything going on. Because if I knew there was that many people and I was like in the stadium, I would have a panic attack.
Right.
I would my anxiety would go. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of a reason why everyone's like, you're not as sociable or you don't go to parties or whatever as much anymore. It's like, as we get older, yes, we start not doing as many things, but also a big part of that too is like I have this like anxiety, or let's just say the party last night, you know, it's like I got to park my truck to where like I can get to it and get in and I don't know. It's very awkward, very weird. So people think it's like superstition, but it's part of it is just like trying to control my anxiety, right? I guess.
Right. How was the speeches this year to build the kids up, to get them to go out and run through walls for you?
I think that's the only thing technically that I can do better than any coach that I know. It sounds weird. There are greater motivators and people like I've heard speak before, but like not many teams do they let the assistant coach give the last speech before.
So you get the privilege of giving
I go
speech.
after Andy.
Really?
Yeah. Like Hoover comes in, sets up the defense. Andy then comes in, sets up all the offense, all the checks and takes, and then I come in and get everyone amped up and we go to battle. Yeah. And it's not every week. Like I think this year I didn't give a single speech until I want to say at least after the two we lost to Hillmar and Houten back-to-back weeks. So I think it was the following week that I gave like my first speech.
So how long is the preparation for that? Are you starting like Monday? You start thinking about things, or will the coach be like, "Hey, I need you to give a good speech this week"?
No,
or you just feel it?
Yeah, he brings it. He asks me if I want to, and you know when we start winning, and like another superstition thing, like if everything went good in the pregame routine, then we do the same as a team, the whole same kind of pregame routine. So it was like, yeah, we kind of started winning a few games. And it was more like, do we need a pregame speech before Modesto Christian? No, right?
Right.
But we were doing it. We're on a roll. Get in there and give that speech. So usually most seasons, it's like if there's a big game or something coming up, I like to go in there and give a speech. Shit, the freshmen were playing Ripon this year for the freshman TVL, and I cut out of varsity practice, and I went into the freshman locker room, and I was grabbing Frazier's quarterback. I was grabbing him, shaking him, punching lockers, and I was like, you see this, guys, right here, this room right here, we're trapped in a corner, and the only guys that are getting out of this corner are the guys that roll with me. So fire up that fucking radio, because they always walked out to this Mo Bamba song. And they were playing this Mo Bamba, and we were just bouncing, bro. It was nuts, you know. So it doesn't have to be varsity. It doesn't have to. Yeah. It's like there's moments when you know, like that's your. I don't know. I don't want to say like my God-given ability or something, but for some reason the kids listen, and for some kids, I don't know. I think they tell me because I don't bullshit. There's no bullshit. Like a good speech is just going in there and telling the truth. Like. There's been speeches where I've grabbed, you know, Rosevink, our varsity quarterback, and I've said, if, you know, you fucking lost, you fumble the ball and, you know, turnovers are going to win it, you know, like I will not just bring you up, I will rip your ass down too. Like,
well, I think
that's part of a good speech.
They look up to you and they don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah, it's part of, like I said, it's part of that program. It's part of that thing. There will be a point where one day, hopefully, like I said, Merle and Tice are playing in for the TVL championship, and you guys have that same coach. You know, I grew up, it was Coach Goldstein or Coach Lorero. There was these guys that were like these master motivators. So like, where do you get the speech? I've tried to sit down and write a speech, and it was terrible, you know? Like the best is just being in that room, being in that environment. I can feel that kid's nervous, or I can feel, you know, and I'll go up to those kids and I'll be like, you know what? Did you know that anxiety and adrenaline are the same nerves, those same butterflies, but it's how you process it. So you can either walk out that door and be nervous, or you can walk out that door and be fucking amped up and just let's go get it. And it's like you can feel the kids, you can feel the energy, you can feel the tension. And sometimes, like I said, the speech writes itself. You just go in there and we're playing Ripon tonight. I don't got to say nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have that jersey on that says Escalon on that jersey. you know, these people are here. They're not here to see you win a game. They're here to see you win a dogfight.
Yeah.
You know, if you get punched, you better get up and punch back, and you better just keep fighting. I don't care if we win. I don't care if we lose, but we're going to fight.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, people say, like, oh, it's my calling or this or that. Like, this last season, I didn't make a dime. I volunteered for all that time football. I did all of that was volunteer. And it's like, Candace is like, you're crazy. And it's like, no, because, like, it is when you're around that you feel young, and you feel that energy, and you feel that adrenaline. It's like,
it's addicting.
I would do that shit for free. Like
anytime.
Yeah, right. It is. I don't use drugs and it is. I've even used that in a speech before. I've told this kid straight up in a speech. You can ask anyone. I tell them I've done every drug there is. There's no greater high than Friday night in this room right now. This adrenaline, this feeling you're feeling right now is like, you cannot reproduce this. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. You know, you grab that kid and you go, can you believe that God put you in this room right now with me for this? You know, like, can you believe that you were chosen to be? And it's like, you know, the light switch hits and it's like, yeah, dude, you're right. Like, we're here. Let's go do it. Let's, you know, next thing you know, dude, we go play De La Salle and, you know, or go, you know, that's how you make them believe they can do it. Like, if you don't believe you can do it, don't show up. Don't even put the pads on. Like, if you walk in there, like, with the mentality that it can't, you know, we're playing D1, you know, don't. Because that's how you're going to get hurt.
Right.
That's how, you know, that's how you're going to get your teammate hurt. That's how you're going to, you know, so.
Lose your quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, you can lose more than that. You could lose the whole team. You can lose, you know, you start getting, you know, it's contagious, you know, and just like cancer, you get one cancer in the room and then it spreads to 2 or 3 guys and 3, you know, it's like, that's the key, dude. Everyone thinks that, like, you got to win these games to have fun, but, like, we fucking have some fun, and that's how we win these games. We build that brotherhood. We build that relationship. And, like, we joke with these guys, but in 10 years, these same dudes in this room are going to be at your bachelor party.
Yeah.
And these same dudes in this room are going to be at your wedding, and hate to say it, but at your funeral. And at, like, these experiences that you're having right now are those ones that make you brothers for life, or whatever, band of brothers and all that shit, you know?
Well, so in Escalon, you could use the motivational tool as, do you want your championship picture on the wall at Hula's?
Yeah.
Or at Dabani's?
I think that was my championship speech for the championship game. I was in the room and I went over, I was like, guys, you are like 1 win away. There's been 100 years of football at Escalon, and you're 1 win away of being in the 5 teams that ran the whole gauntlet. There's only 5 teams that have done it, and you point at the pictures on the wall, right? And you're like, look at 93. 93 was the greatest defense ever, they say. I'll tell them, they used to bring 2 ambulances to the game because they knew one of them was leaving, right? Stuff like that. And in 96, they won on a last-minute field goal. That sounds like us when we beat Sonora, doesn't it? And, like, the kicker, now you got the kicker pumped up. Yeah. And then look at that team, 2010. They went all the way down to L.A. in the pouring rain, and they put it on. Well, who the fuck are we playing tonight? And, you know, it's like, in the rain against, it was an Irvine team. It's the same thing or whatever. And I was all, and then 2019, I was like, we won the whole thing right here, right at home. The last game ever played ever right here at Ingle. And I was like, and this is your turn. And it technically was. It was the last game. They're ripping that stadium out this year. And I told him, think of that, 100 years, how many people bled on that field, sweat on that field. You know, I joke, but I told Candace, when I die, when I get cremated, half my ashes are going with her, and the other half are sprinkling all over that field, because I am never missing a big game at Inglefield again. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
The ghosts are there, dude. And that's what makes a program next level. Right. It's like, you think I'm crazy? Hilmar's got someone crazier than me, and he ripping probably has dudes that are, you know, more into, you know, it's these people grew up through this shit, and they have brothers from life.
Right. So where would you have your ashes spread? 50-yard line, end zone, on the sidelines?
Well, I say my pregame prayer every game on the 25-yard line because I started doing that when Ezra was born. He was born on the 25th. And I just feel like ever since that little kid came into my life, like good shit has happened. Like the minute you stop living for yourself and you start living for someone else, like that's how good shit happens in life, I think. You know, like you start realizing that like, you know, drugs were fun and fucking having money's fun and all this shit's fun, but it's like there's no like real substance to it. There's no real joy to it. Like I get real joy out of seeing my kids win a football championship. I get real joy out of watching Ezra and his sister now fighting on the carpet. You know, like Candace would be like, I'm breaking. I'm like, hey, you know, that's like, I don't know. You know, I'm very, very like laid back, low key, but like even on top of that, like smoking and stuff, shit. Last podcast, I haven't even hit that thing one time, you know, like,
right.
I don't know. It's like a flip switch. I don't know, like a light switch in my head went off. I'm sure you had it when you had kids where it's like everyone has it, where it's like, fuck, I got to start realize, you know, I gotta, like my mom said, don't make an ass of yourself, right? Like, because then you're making an ass of your kids, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's my relationship with God that just kind of makes me want to be better. Whether I intentionally do it or not, it's just I don't want to be a shitbag. I want to be a good person. I don't want to be a great man. I want to be a good man.
You know, when like people talk about like, oh, this guy was great, and this, you know, if somebody tells you, especially football, how great they were, they probably weren't that great, man. But if somebody else is saying, hey, that's a great dude, he's a great guy, like that's what you want to be. And like you're saying, when you're a shitbag, people are saying, hey, that's a shitty guy, or that's a shitty coach. And I think that's why like parents know that, say, oh, I probably smoke weed, or I have a past that might have some things that, you know, they'd be afraid of, let's say, you know. But like then they see like that you're giving your kids or their kids that aren't even your kids like all of yourself, and they're like, damn, dude, they like that, they respect that, they know that I'm not like trying to use their kid to win a game,
right?
You know, like,
well, and so this quote that I'm about to say kind of speaks for that. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Meaning they might plant a tree in something that they'll never experience the joys of that tree, but it's to give to that younger generation. So like the stuff that we're doing, we're investing in our community.
Yeah, you're building that foundation. You're building like the success that I had when we played sports was because the kids that came through in 93 and 96 and whatever, and then that helped us. Well, like sometimes a lot of the success and the things that these guys, they're reaping the rewards of previous team success. Now they get all this cool Under Armour shit, new helmets and new swag and new, you know, it's like we didn't get none of that, right? But it's like we planted that seed, and that seed grew, and look what we've grown.
Well, look at your staff right now, right? How many guys played on the same team that are on your staff right now?
Every coach at Escalon played at Escalon.
But I mean together. Don't you got
me and Hoover? Me, T-Bart, and Hoover were together. And Coach Beam, Coach Cowan, Coach Caton. Those guys were all a class of dudes together. The only outsider that we have would be Coach Rose, who's like, he's our JV coach right now. He's basically the Reverend, right? He's like
the chaplain.
Yeah. He's like the team chaplain. He actually came in from, I want to say like Modesto schools or something like that. But he's like, you know, he's raising his family in Escalon and stuff. He's very church oriented. He's the respectable face we send to meetings where we need a respectable.
He's the guy that you know is not going to cuss.
Yeah,
show up with a chew in his lip.
Where you actually feel bad. Like I'll go to his practices and I'm ripping out a kid, and I look over and I'm like, "Sorry about that, Coach Rose."
So Rose spelled R-O-S-E or R-O-O-S?
Rose, Brant Rose. He's a philosophy/history teacher at the high school.
Gotcha.
And he's been there for as long as, I've been around. He's been a part of, he first helped with the varsity. Then I think he was helping with the freshmen for a while. And then we made him officially. It's a lot easier to make a teacher that's on campus all the time, like in a head coaching role, because, they can keep track of students coming to class, not coming to class, grades, things like that. Like I don't have access to all these things. I have been subbing a lot more. And then by subbing, I'm on campus and talking with kids a lot more. So I don't know. I'm like an advocate. Like I go up to kids that don't even play football and I'm like, you should play football.
Yeah.
Because like, it's not about like this guy being good or not being good. It's like, if I can get a couple more kids out there and we can get a couple more reps, or I can get a couple more practice guys. And that's a couple more dudes helping pick up bags or pick up, cause it's a seniority thing, dude. So if everybody's at the top of the pecking order, then nobody, clean shit up. Nobody, so you got to start, I don't know, kids that might not even be into football, but they're good at audio, video. Okay, yeah, come in, help us. We'll run the huddle. Show me how to, like I'm trying to get everyone on campus involved. I'm even talking to I was subbing for band and choir the other day. I was telling the lady, I didn't tell you thank you, but I feel like we played better when the band was jamming at games.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's like a group effort. Even if you're not playing football, dude, join the band. Come out there on Friday night and beat the hell out of a drum for a while and have some fun. And, I feel like too many teachers and too many people are, overloading the kids in this 4-year window when, that's like a 4-year window of your life where, yes, you got to go to school and, yes, you got to learn and you got to do that, but it should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like if you're handing out worksheets and bullshit over the weekend, I fucking hate that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't be that sub that comes in and you have me handing out tests.
Right.
Come on, dude.
Right. No, yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about, and we've never talked about this before, but I know you've experienced this. At least I'm pretty 99% sure you've experienced this, where you see a coach lay out the motivational speech of speeches, and then you get another coach follow him up, and you think, okay, we could win the game off that one speech.
Yeah. And
then you get that one coach that follows up and just lays a turd and just ruins the whole entire freaking vibe.
Or there's been games where a JV game goes long and we've given our speech and we're leaving the locker room and we're going out there, and then there's a 30-minute hour stretch dead period.
You peak too quick.
Right.
Too
I've been in that situation where it's like, man, dude, if we would have just took the field 30 minutes ago, dude, we'd be up 21-0 on these guys, and then now it's 7-7 because we're in a fun. Yeah, it's
so I experienced something like that where I got the kids peaked. Okay, so games always start at 1 o'clock, say, or 3 o'clock. I got the kids peaked at say 2:25. Okay. Right? We get on the field 2:25. We've already done our warm-ups, everything. We're at the top.
Adrenaline's pumping, dude. We're ready to snap one.
And I look at the clock and we got 35 minutes left till kickoff. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought we just play as soon as this game's over, we jump into it. Nope. You wait till 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
That's actually worse than the flip side where we've came out of the locker room late and didn't get our full warm up and go.
Yeah.
I think being too early is worse than being
too early
late.
Is worse.
Yeah. Yep.
So the other side of it is we came out of the locker room. The really nice thing about Rip and Christian is they have your team room, right?
Right.
So our team room this year, it was the homecoming game or 8th grade night, whatever, varsity night.
Right.
Anyways, we're not allowed in our room. So at halftime, we have to go way over on the baseball field to do our halftime speech.
Right.
And kind of break down what's happening, make adjustments. And so we don't realize that we're way over there, so we don't realize what's going on in the field. So it was almost a strategic move had you thought that we did it on purpose. But we made the other team wait. for about 15 minutes after, right? So halftime's over with. The cheerleaders are done cheering. The other they're done warming up. Music's already out. And the other team's like, where are they? Well, they can't find us because we're way over there. So we come just walking up, no big deal. Run them out of the locker room with the fog and all that stuff because that's why they wanted us to wait.
Right.
And the white hat comes up. He's like, hey, I hate to do this to you, but I got to give you a 15-yard penalty. Okay? Well, because we were late. But it turned out to work in our favor because they got hyped. And then they had to wait forever for us.
Yeah.
And we came out and just smoked them.
And you're on edge the minute you I think that's real, dude.
That's an alpha male move right there. And from here on out, like if I get in trouble for it, it might be strategic because I'm like, I'm going to make them wait. They had a great first half. I'm going to make them wait.
We always, the locker room at Escalon is all the way in the gym. So it's a hike from our field. We always go to the locker room and they'll call in on the radio. Hey, there's a minute left. And we've had that where it's delay a game if you come out later to the locker room. And we tell the kids every time, party don't start without us, man. So, yeah, it can be a competitive advantage.
For 15 yards,
for
it's
sure.
worth it.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about pregame speeches. I'm going to tell you the greatest pregame speech I can remember in my career, whether it was a coach and I saw someone, because I've seen some good ones as coach. I think the greatest was I was a junior. We were playing at Houten, the 97-98 Houston, 96 Escalon won state. It was mythical back then. They just voted you small school team of the year or whatever. So we wanted in 96, 97, because football is the season before the.
Okay.
I always, because I played, I won in 2000. I graduated 01. So they always say like 2000, 2001. Anyways, so 96 was us, 97, 98 was Houston. So it's 98, 99. It's my junior year, and we're playing at Houston. And Houston just was the team of the year, or whatever, small school number one. And they were undefeated, and we were playing down at Houston. And Coach Goldstein, so like he's an assistant coach, but like I said, sometimes the assistant coach, you just let him go, right? He comes in the room, he has a big lighter, and he goes, the average football play lasts 8 seconds. 8 seconds, he's telling defense kids. He goes, you got to be willing to put your hand in the fire and put your life in the fire for 8 seconds. You got to be willing to give everything you got to make a tackle, and you hold on to that jersey and your fingers are going to break. You hold on to that for 8 seconds. He goes, it's 8 seconds in the fire. So he pulls out a big lighter and he lights the lighter and he puts his hand on top of the lighter for 8 seconds. And you can see he's burning himself.
Oh, no.
His skin is like roasting. Oh. He's physically burning himself.
Woo!
And he holds the flame and he looks at us. He goes, 8 fucking seconds. And dude, we were just like, yeah. I remember Dirk North that literally kicked a hole through the wall. Like we were like the door wouldn't open. So he kicked like the door, like, bro, like through the sheetrock, dude. Like, yeah, dude. And that's awesome. Escalon people will tell you, like, Goldie's done some crazy pregame speeches, but yeah, it was 8 seconds in the fire. You ever hold a Bic under your hand for like 2 seconds? That shit hurt. Right. 3 seconds? He was standing there yelling at us, screaming. Like you could see he was physically hurting himself to like fire us up.
Oh, man.
And it was like, great. Whoa, dude. Whoa. That's great. Yeah. He was like a master motivator. There was other classes that told us where he's like cut himself and like put blood on himself. Like,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. He was.
That's the one that Richie Machado was asking me randomly. He's like, hey, ask your cousin what that one coach's name for like an all-star game.
Yeah. He was one of the coach. Yeah, he came on for the small schools. I think it was Calaveras coaches were like the head coaches, but they had a couple of Escalon guys. I think maybe like a Ripon coach or two. But yeah, Goldie.
Said that was one of the coolest coaches. I only knew him for a couple of weeks while we were doing the all-star game, but that was the best coach coming from Escalon that I saw.
You want to talk about humble? We were talking about if you're great, you don't tell people you're great. Other people tell you you're great. That guy never told anyone his past, his history, whatever. That guy was an All-American football, won the Rose Bowl for Stanford. He's the last 3-sport All-American to ever graduate from Stanford. That means he was an All-American in basketball, baseball, and football.
Really?
Yeah. And he never told one person.
Is he still around?
He now coaches Big Valley Christian.
Really?
His grandson is like a 8th grader, 8th grader, and he coaches like Pop Warner at Big Valley. You imagine that guy?
I think I know who he is.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's they beat
he's
us. That guy where you go.
They won the Super Bowl this year.
Mama, that's that man. Yeah, so his son went into like the Army or Air Force, something, and then his son. This is his son's kids are now.
Okay.
But he was, man, he's just a legend, dude. He was a great teacher. He was like a history teacher at the school. I remember we got caught cheating in his class one time, and he shows up. And he goes, that's all you guys want to do, right? You guys don't want to work? You don't want to do anything? And we were like, oh, like, man, he's mad. And he pulls a pillow out, and he puts a pillow and a blanket down in front of the class. He goes, well, you guys don't want to do shit. I'm going to take a nap. And he just laid there, and he was like, I'm giving you, like we talk about, giving you the effort you give me. He was one of those guys where if, like, you were willing to learn and you wanted to learn in the classroom, he was all in on that. And if you wanted to go give extra in the weight room or whatever, he'd stay after school and go to practices, and all the summer camps and he was at everything. He was just one of the guys. He didn't feel like a coach. He just was like one of the dudes. And it's, I don't know, it's crazy. I was blessed with coaches like that. And hopefully these kids, one day coach my kids, like we give them this and, hopefully they make it big. I tell my kids, even if you don't go to college, like if your buddy's going to San Diego State, go live on his couch, go experience it, go, take a step out in the real world. And then one day come back and take my job, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me the stories and take my job.
I thought you were going to tell me that coach lit up a cig, but that's even cooler that he lit his hand on fire a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. He literally melted his hand right there. He probably still has burn mark in the palm of his hand, dude.
That's great. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, dude.
They're in the Pacific League in the TVYFL, the Trans Valley Youth Football League. But they beat the crap out of the Ripon Knights this year. They just outcoached. They got outcoached. That team. Maybe they weren't a better talented team, but their coaching staff, it showed. It showed 100%.
Yeah, it's my mom and dad say, because my mom and dad go to church at the Big Valley, and so they say they see him every now and then. He's going to church, and he was a wild dude. He was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. I used to actually, the last time I saw him was at a Stanford game. And I'm not even lying. There was like this, like alumni tailgate thing, and there was all these people there. And he's just over there bullshitting with like Jim Plunkett. And
really?
Yeah, that's the thing. When they won, was it 69 or 70? Early 70s, late when Stanford last won. Well, they won recently with McCaffrey and stuff, but it had been like 30 years since Stanford won the Rose Bowl. He was the starting safety, strong safety on Jim Plunkett was the quarterback on that team. So he was like buddies with. He'll never mentioned it, never brought it up, never, didn't have a Stanford poster on his wall, or never wore his championship rings. Or I think that's kind of why I don't wear mine. Everyone's like, because we get ring when we win. We just got measured for new ones this year, and everyone's like, you don't ever wear them, and it was like, I don't know, it's kind of like. I don't know. Guys like that didn't wear them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to brag or whatever. They let everyone else tell the story.
Yeah, you sound like an idiot when you brag about yourself, but it's so much cooler when somebody brags on you.
Yeah, right.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because we've all ran into that dude that'll tell you how great he is. But I don't want to hear how great you are. I want somebody else to tell me how great you are, and I'll find out.
Oh yeah,
I'll find out eventually. If I know you long enough, I'll find out how cool you are. But don't freaking tell me the first 3 times I've met you how cool you are, because we'll find out.
No, it's like you don't even find these things out until almost like graduating high school and
years later.
You hear the stories. Or like he played at Stanford. My D-line coach, Coach Scott, Ray Scott, he played at Utah. and he was on the first team that I guess ever went, like in the 60s. Oklahoma was like the greatest college football team. They hadn't lost a home game in like whatever it was, 100 home games. And Coach Ray was the starting defensive line on Utah that went into Oklahoma and beat Oklahoma. And I never heard that story until like 5 years out of high school when his kid was kind of telling me that.
So
like,
it might not be the first 3 times. It might be like the first 5 years later.
Right. So he played at Stanford. Coach Scott was at Utah. Coach Caton was like All-American at like UC Davis. And like we were beyond blessed to be at a public school that had like that influence of coaching and mentors and people. And so if like my pregame speeches or my coaching philosophy or whatever you want to call it is just copying all of those dudes and molding it into my own, I guess, style. And the biggest part of all of that is just you got to be real. Like if you're not real, they'll see right through that shit.
Yeah.
Like, the kids, they're smarter than we think. And, if you really want them to buy in, you got to be honest. And being honest sometimes is, like if we're babying a kid or something, then you got to put that kid on blast. Or if a kid's not showing up to workouts or whatever, and you go up to them and you say, you're hurting the team. There's been kids that are like, they go, oh, I'm working out here, I'm doing that. And I'll say, well, fucking bring a sandwich and show up. And you can go sit over there and eat a sandwich. Because if you don't show up, then the freshman kids are like, well, he don't come.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't,
We're only as strong as the weakest link.
Yeah, it's like we said, there's motivation and there's discipline. And I'd much rather teach discipline because discipline is going to get you through every day. Motivation, there's going to be days where even I can't motivate myself. How the fuck am I going to motivate you?
Right.
Yeah,
no, discipline is what you're going to do. Like you said earlier, you're going to do it when you don't want to just because that's what I do.
Yeah, and these kids, they look at me and I'm this fat, old handicapped guy, and it's like discipline, right? And it's like, dude, I'm telling you, dude, believe it or not, there was a time in my life where I went through this and we did this stuff, and I'm not bullshitting you. Like this, if you want to have this success or do this, do these workouts, do this, do it, And it's at first, I think the kids thought I was like a handicapped janitor, with my straw hat on and whatever. And then next thing you know, they go home and they're like, oh, yeah, there's this Frosty guy. And he was like, and their parents are like, oh, yeah, he played there. He, was part of won a championship. Dude, I was in my 4 years of high school, we played for 3 championships. In my, 5-6 years here coaching, we've played in 3 championships, 6-7 years, I guess. So it's, it's, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm good luck or I'm whatever. I'm just saying like if I coach anything, it's brotherhood. If I coach anything, it's like family. If I coach anything and it worked for me as a player and it works as a coach,
Well, it's obvious, right? It's one of those things that goes unspoken. If you're a real coach and you're there for the right reasons, it goes without saying, right? It just it's contagious. Like the kids see it. You don't have to tell them some stuff. You don't have to preach it. They can see how devoted you are, how passionate you are about something. You know, it just it comes out of your pores.
That's kind of why I even got hired in the first place. It was Lorero. It was 2015-ish, I think, 2015-16 season. Escalon missed the playoffs. It was the first time Escalon had missed football playoffs in who knows how long. Excuse me, sorry about that. It had been years. And it was like Lorero's final, it was the season before his last season. So his last 2 years. And they missed the playoffs, and I just so happened I bumped into him. It was right when my friend Dante had passed, so I was like, I got to get my shit together. I need to start doing something. I need to get myself motivated. Speaking of motivating, I got to motivate myself. And I was at this point where I was like, what got me through tough times before or through life before was like getting back into the gym and like football and things like that, being a part of stuff. And Lorero was like, well, if you want to come on, man, I'd love to hire you. And I was like, I got to do a background check and all this shit. They're not going to hire me. And he's like, I'll get you hired. I'll get you on the coaching staff. So I was like, all right. So I did all the shit I had to do. And he goes, I'm telling you right now, the seniors hate the juniors and the juniors hate the sophomores. And I got these 3 freshman kids that I guess, had been dominating the Pop Warner. And he's like, this is my last run at it. I'm retiring here in 2 years. These kids are coming in as freshmen, and I want to bring them in and get them into the program. But he's like, I don't want to bring them in here and they walk into a locker room that hates each other. And then next thing you know, you're a freshman and you're supposed to save this shit. That's a lot of pressure on these 3. It was Jake Walden, Damian, Tom, and then the Christensen kid, the oldest Christensen, the running back one.
Yeah.
So he was like, man, so yeah, this is 2015, 2016. He's like, yeah, I'm hiring you to make it fun again. I'm hiring you to build the brotherhood again. If there's one dude that can like come into this locker room and get everyone back on the same team, he's like, that's you, man. That's what we did. That's the same thing. And, I think that's why we had success when I was in school, because like when I was a sophomore, junior, like we were all brothers, the seniors, all the classes, like we were friends. Drake and all those guys were older, but like we partied together, hung out at school together, it was like a family, and they didn't have that. And he's like, if I bring these kids in and they hate it, they might, quit. They might not want to play football, whatever. So I was like, all right. So he's like, I'm not hiring you for offensive line or defensive line. He's like, just come to practices and bust some balls and have some fun. And, really he was like, kind of like what Coach Goldstein and Coach Scott and like those, just go out there and just lighten it, and shit, we started having some fun. Like I said, everyone thinks you got to like win games to have fun, but like we started having fun and building the brotherhood. And next thing you know, that season we went down to Hillmar. He hadn't beat Hillmar at Hillmar in like 6 years, and we beat Hillmar. And then it was like we said, the switch. You win this one game, and you're like, damn, we could like, if this was supposed to be a team that makes a run and we just beat them, like maybe we have something. And then I think the next week we went to Patterson and lost by like 40, but yeah, right. But it was like, there was that flash. We saw that light, that flash. Now these 3 kids were sophomores. And they're the 3 horses. Walden's starting on the D-line, Damien's O-line, and Christensen's our go-to running back as a sophomore, right? Like, I don't know, man. You just get those guys and you get the seniors and you get them and you just say, hey, man, like if you trust this, trust the process, buy into the summer camps, buy into the 7-on-7, buy into the workouts. If you buy in, good shit's gonna happen. And I promise you this, like I said about being real, like I'm gonna be real with you, and if you be real and you buy into this, it's gonna happen. We made it. We made a run. We were league co-champs. We ended up losing to Ripon, and we're co-champs with Ripon, but it was like, dude, we got into the playoffs. Hillmar ended up beating us in the playoffs, but it was like, we're back up there with Ripon and Hillmar, and like, that team that missed the playoffs, that was a fluke, and this shit's never going to happen again. And it was like from that moment, what was it, 2016, 2017, those dudes came in, I came in, Hoover came in, Coach Vic came in, a lot of these guys came in, and those guys were 2017, 2018 juniors, and then 2019 when Christensen and those kids graduated, we were state champions. And we haven't looked back. And I almost quit, like I said, after that first couple years because we lost in the playoffs, And I told Candace, I was like, man, I got home from these games, feel like you're in a car wreck. Like, what the hell happened? My body's sore. My voice is gone. I feel like I just worked out and I'm like butthurt, right? Like, because we lost. So I'm all depressed and like, this is, I don't know. And it was kind of like Candace was like, you can't just keep asking the kids to get better. Like, you gotta man up, dude.
Right.
Like, yeah. And imagine if I would have quit right then.
Yeah.
Like I I don't know what I would do, dude. Would I even have 2 kids today? Would I even, like if I quit on something like that, well, if you say you quit on your marriage or quit on I don't know. That's where football just emulates life. Not only does it build your brothers for life and that brotherhood, but it teaches you to through failure or through working out or grinding, dude, you can do this. You can do big things. It's not about this 4 years right here. It's about life. I joke with those kids in the weight room, like we're not lifting weights to beat ripping. Like we're lifting weights for life. Yeah, we're going to beat ripping. And then when you're 25 years old and you take your wife to the movie and someone tries to jump you, you fucking break their jaw because you know how to handle your shit, right? This is teaching you life. This is teaching you, as much as I've won big games, is I've also hugged those kids when we lost, and I've seen seniors lose their final game, and I've seen, so it's a learning process. I had to learn it. The kids learn it, and that's I joke about RC, but it's your guys' turn to learn this shit. It's your guys' turn to do this. And there's going to be a couple of years where, yeah, you might take some tough losses, and there might be a couple of years where, it's damn, you're doubting yourself as a coach. Like maybe it isn't enough, or maybe we're not doing the right thing, but just one game that it'll flip.
Well, I hope the right decisions are made, and we got the right talent coming up down the line. So I feel like we got bigger classes, good talent. We got the right people in the right positions for the youth football league. As far I can speak on behalf of that. So hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would love to put my son into a youth football league or any football league where, Candace and I have had this talk. Are you going to be that dad that coaches your kids, or are you going to be that one that steps back and lets other people coach? And I was like, to be honest, in youth sports, I'm probably going to be that dad that coaches his kids.
Yeah.
But by the time they get to that high school and stuff, I'm praying and hoping that the next generation of coaches are in there and that they're going to give my kids, what we gave them. So I don't know. Eventually, I'm going to have to take, and you're going to have to do it too. You're going to have to take that step back and let somebody else.
But if I can control anything, I'd love to make sure that the right coach is in the right spot for my kids. Right?
Yeah,
I don't want them to lose that year. I've seen kids lose that year with a bad coach.
Yes.
And I don't want to see my kids lose that year. So if I can control anything, I just want to make sure they're in the right spot at the right time with the right coaches, where they're going to learn the most. Just have the right coaches. I don't want to see my kids or any other kids lose a year.
Yeah, no. And especially at that young age, man, is if you make it the drill sergeant coach and the asshole coach, I don't know. I've seen too many of those coaches at the young ages where they're just running sprints and they're doing a lot of this stuff. And if you're burning the kids out, that's not a good coach. At that young age, I want these kids to know how to stretch properly. And I want these kids to know how to line up properly and get in a good stance. And if you're a pulling guard, am I stepping with the right foot or the left? Little things. And if we go 1-9, but we learned all the little things, that is 10 times better than getting kids in that are I fucking hated this coach and I hated this and I hate. And then it's by their freshman, sophomore years, they're in that learning stage that they should have been in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. And that's our advantage. And that's going to be your guys' advantage, right? Yeah. I've even said it to you crazily, and this is a sin, blasphemy. We might have to edit this, but I wouldn't mind having my son play in that youth program. I would let you guys coach my kids because I feel like you guys are doing that right. I'm not saying Escalon's not, but there's a lot more headaches and arguments and coaches beefs and whatever going on with that, to where it's I don't want to deal with that shit. Right. I don't want my kids to deal with that shit.
Right.
You know, you want to put them in a program where they're going to make friends, they're going to have fun, they're going to learn the game, they're going to learn values, they're going to learn dedication.
Yeah.
They're going to learn that, damn, it sucks to have to go on an August night at 6 o'clock when it's hot to turn the PlayStation off and go to practice. Like,
learn how to lose, learn how to come back from being down, you know, come back second half and pull off a victory. Have fun though. That's the big thing. Have fun, learn the basics. And then make you want to fall in love with it to where that kid wants to come back next year.
Yes. That's a huge thing too, is I fear at the younger levels, if the program is not right, like say I put my son into a turbulent program, he might hate football forever. He might not ever even want to open. And that's fine too. Like, I worry about that. You know, I joke with Candace because it seems as if Ezra's a little more laid back, kind of, I don't want to say he's soft, but he's soft-hearted. He's not aggressive kid. And his sister's already pulling on his hair and beating on him. And I was like, I think Onyx is going to be the athlete and Ezra might be. And you know what? That's fine. Yeah. It is. Because as long as he's a good kid doing good shit, there's obviously some reason that kid is here today. Like, I joke with Candace, you know, they call them miracle babies when they shouldn't have had a kid or whatever. But, like, if you really think about it, like, we were 40. I was at a point in life where I was choosing substance over family or any rational decisions. And I would have never, there was a time in my life where I would have never foreseen a wife, let alone kids and all that. And it's like, I told you, like, the minute that kid came into my life in 2019, it was like everything great. Just good shit was happening. Like, it made me a better coach. It made me a better, not just dad, but person. It made me a better, it just, and then ever since then, shit, 2019, that's what I told you, we started I joked with the guys, we had a baby in 2019 and we won state. We had a baby this year and we won state. I was like, I can't be having any more babies, guys. We gotta start doing it on our own, guys.
I can't keep
can't put my wife.
I can't carry this team on my back anymore.
Can't put my wife through the ringer again.
I mean, I'm willing to do it one more time just to show you, prove it to you guys. But this will be a good episode for your grandkids to listen to and be like, hey, you know, why did Grandpa what got Grandpa into coaching? What got, you know, what? So this will be a cool episode for years and years later for your grandkids.
I feel like I was kind of rambling on and on and on there. And again, like, sorry to the listeners out there. Sometimes we get into these, you know, what interests us not always interests others, I guess. But on the real talk, man, I mean, I just feel like to any coach out there, to anybody that wants to help Pop Warner, high school, whatever it is. Actually, they just passed girls flag football. It's now a high school sport.
I saw that.
That is going to open the door to female coaches, female refs, even people that are trying to learn the football game. Like, if I wanted to take over a football program, it'd be a lot easier to take over, say, the girls flag team than take over like a varsity whatever football, you know, like. It's going to get people to fill these jobs, fill these voids, fill these vacancies. But like, real talk, like, if you're going to do it and you're going to get into the coaching stuff, it's like, it has to have that mentality where, like, make it for everyone else. Don't make it for yourself. Don't make it for like, oh, I want a championship ring, so I'm going to play this kid and I'm going to do this and this. And it's like, when you go chasing it and you go after it, that it don't work like that. Like, you can't just go out there and buy success. You can't just go out there and buy happiness, whatever in life. Like, you're going to get what you give. And I see that. And, like, I congratulate you and your program because, like, look at the success. And why is that? Because you guys give that and it comes back full force. So, you know, a lot of these dudes are out there to, like, yeah, I coach high school football. And it's like, I don't want to listen to that, dude. Right. I don't want to hear you talk about the 2-3 defense, and I'm the master of football zone defenses, and it's like, dude, no, dude, you're good because your talent around you, the people around you. We're only as good as the family that we build. We're only as good as the people you circle yourself with. And, you know, just.
Well, and having a good board helps. Because each home game, it takes, I think they said 67 volunteers.
Damn.
To make it happen on any given Saturday, right?
Right.
But you have to have a board that organizes that. You got to have a concession guy. You got to have, or concession lady. You got to have the people that paint the lines on the field
right.
that shit just doesn't happen on its own.
Yeah, I can't put a Facebook post out. Hey, we're having basketball season here. Starts next week. We need 10 coaches.
Right.
You know?
Right. So, I mean, it just takes a lot of volunteers and a great board to organize it, and that stuff just doesn't come overnight. So, for that to be recognized, and I've only been a part of this league going into my third year, but I am proud to be a member of the Knights organization.
Yeah.
And it's a great team, but I love seeing other organizations do great too. I mean, we're surrounded by great organizations, and that's what makes you better. Is you, like you said earlier, we play each other, we beat each other, we learn from each other, we learn from winning, learn from losing, and then at the end of the day, you shake hands, you take a knee, and maybe say a prayer together. And
yeah, we do that too. We're a public school, but we don't have no problem. Yeah, right. It's, man, you're just like, you're an embodiment of like your culture and what you are, right? And so it's like you can see that. Let's just say some of these Modesto city schools or Stockton city schools, terrible culture, terrible coaches, teachers, creates terrible playing conditions, whatever. Like Franklin High hasn't won a game in however many years. They built this brand new $1 million stadium, and they're gonna put all this. It don't matter. That's lipstick on the pig. Unless you get like the underlying issues and you start getting people in there to build like a little bit of family, a little bit of structure, then you start getting a little help from the community. And now we're having team meals. And guess what? Now we got a couple more coaches, and it's like this whole thing is just such a, like you said, 60 plus people. I don't even know how many people are involved with our Escalon stuff, but like people like me reap the rewards. I'm the one that gets to wear the ring. I'm the one that, and I'm beyond blessed to be a part of it. I'm beyond blessed. I think in a sense, there's probably been a few maybe fireable offenses, or maybe I've crossed the line or whatever. But like, I think if they know you as a good person and they know your intent is good with the kids, and that in the end, that's what shines through. And that's, one day I hope, like we were saying, I hope one day somebody gives that same effort to my kid if my kid chooses to do that.
Yeah, pour that love in our kids and let that passion be contagious.
I feel like that's what's wrong with the world today. It's like we don't give a shit about anyone else. Like when we grew up, it was all about like do unto others what you want. It's like we live in this world now. I think it was, it's just robbing people and stealing shit, and it's about me. It's me, 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 me. And that's, I think, what makes football beautiful is me doesn't work.
Right.
There's no room for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Well, you said it, and that's something I'm going to take from this episode. You said it. You're not playing for the name on the back of the jersey. You're playing for the name on the front of the jersey. So I hope you don't mind. I might take that from this. And that's pretty – I like that.
The greatest speech, too, that I've heard or I've stole from was, I'll leave it with this at the end of the episode, was a Hard Knocks episode when they did the Raiders. And it was John Gruden. And he told the guys, he goes, everybody has dreams. Everybody's got dreams of being in the NFL and dreams of being all league and winning the Super Bowl. And I told my kids, everybody's got dreams. They got dreams of beating Escalon. Hilmar's got dreams of beating us at home. Sutter's got dreams of being undefeated. I told them, guys, we're not in the business of dreams. Guys, when you win championships and you're the top dog, dreams are done. I was like, we're in the business of nightmares, and we're everybody's fucking nightmare. And I was like, we're the team that people remember at the end of the day. I was like, you can remember all that dreams and you can have high hopes and all that, but when it comes down to it, I was like, we're the boogeyman, and we're going to crush everybody's dreams.
Hell yeah.
And that's how you run, dude.
That's cool.
That's like we're going on a playoff run here, and we're just going to crush every week. We're crushing somebody's dreams. And that's how you look at it, dude. It's like I just got fired up thinking about that, man.
I got goosebumps. So I hope you say that right. You come out of the locker room, you do your march all the way to the end zone, and then you huddle them up and you give that speech in the end zone, and then they go out?
No,
or are you doing that in the locker room?
Okay, so oh wow, this episode keeps rolling.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Our locker room is obviously they play their music, everyone's bumping mumble rap, and there's a little Metallica and some stuff, everyone gets pumped up. Then we cut off the lights, we cut off the music, we cut off everything, and there's a speech from Any Given Sunday when Al Pacino gives that speech before the championship race. Inches, yes, and you got to fight for that inch. So we turn off all the lights in the locker room, we make everyone get in the team room, take a knee, take a huddle, and we play that speech. And then after we play that speech, there's like a minute of like silence where everybody's kind of feeling their vibe. And like I said, Coach Hoover comes in, goes over the defensive game plan. Coach Andy comes in, goes over the offensive game plan. And then I am beyond blessed to get to walk into that locker room and just kind of give them the pregame speech. And it's kind of the same thing I tell them every time. It says, you're going to walk through this door right here. And when you walk through that door, like you said, you're not playing for Alan Thompson. I'm not playing for Mom. I'm playing for this team. I'm playing for this community. So when you walk out that door, man, you better be willing to give everything to this community because they're going to give it back to you, you know? So it's basically that's the last speech, man. And we walk out that door, and it's just like the way our locker room is. When you come out of the locker room door, the minute you walk out, you see the lights and you see all the crowd and the smoke from the barbecue, and the band is firing up. And it's like if you don't feel that, you're fucking dead inside.
Yeah.
Like if you don't feel that energy right there, like I said, you don't even have to say a word. Like our kids, they have this big old boom box and they like to, bump the music. But, I'll tell them sometimes, fire up that, get them going. But
play my thing.
Yeah, they always play rap and shit. So I kind of like, once they walk out that door, it's like the boys become men, right? It's like they're on their own mission. They're on their own hunt, dude. So
yeah. Well, I'm sorry that I shit on you gave that final speech and then I shit on it by asking another question, which is a question that I asked you.
Nah.
Anyways, let's wrap it up on that.
It was great.
Thank you for coming today.
Dude, thank you for having me. Like I said, I've been this was probably the most challenging this last year. Having one kid is difficult, and I'm out here giving praise and respect to anyone with multiple kids because I thought we had it handled, and then baby Onyx came, and 2 kids turns into a whole different level of parenting.
Right.
If one kid's having a good day, I promise you the other kid is not.
Right. Or mom and dad are stressed out in some way, but yeah.
No, it's I'm beyond blessed. I'm beyond the family we have, the people that we have. I don't take any of that for granted, not at all. And especially like my wife having these kids, it makes you realize like the things that the effort that goes on in life and the people and the it makes you miss grandma and shit. Like you sit there and you're just like, man, dude, like just to see my kids say sit on Altame's lap or something, so
yeah,
it's I don't know, it's like your mind goes from a me mentality to like this tribe. This is my tribe, and I'm gonna do everything for my tribe, So I kind of love it. I feel like I was meant to be a dad, but it is what do they call it? A difficult season.
It's a great way to end. All right, to everyone serving this beautiful country, whether it's air, land, or sea, we salute you. To all the first responders, 2-legged and or 4-legged, thank you for your service. Everyone have a nice long day and keep your stick on the ice.
Love you all. Thank you.